we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Greyhawk channel. You're watching Saltmarsh Stories, episode 2. Our first episode was about a month ago. Just a quick heads up, the way that we're doing these episodes, they're kind of like standalone one-shots, but if you are here as a recurring viewer, you will still get a fair bit out of it. I'm going to thank our amazing sponsors. Our Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers are what keep this channel going, so thank you very much for subscribing. Roll20, we're supported by Roll20. All our games are powered by Roll20, the world's leading virtual tabletop. And now the Greyhawk channel is officially supported by Roll20, which is super cool. You can try it out for free at roll20.net. I use it all the time for my personal games. I love it so much. Heroic Maps is our official battle map sponsor. You can check out their library of more than 300 maps on DriveThruRPG. And Tabletop Loot, you can go to tabletoploot.com and enter Greyhawk in the coupon code box, and you get 15% off your dice order, which is so good because we all need more dice all the time. It never ends. Our Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers can get coupon codes to Ruink and Cantrip Candles in the private section of our Discord. So become a subscriber, save money. It seems like a good deal to me. Alrighty, that is pretty much all for sponsors. Alright, let's get into the game. Hello everybody in the chat who is saying hi. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Okay. Oh, stop it. My computer's having a whinge, but that's perfectly fine. Alright, let's go around and everybody can say hi. My cat is trying to steal my dice again. I'll start. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm your Dungeon Master. You can find me on Twitch at AlexCatu. Also on Twitter at AlexCatu. You can find me here on the Greyhawk channel as well as occasionally over on Variant Rolls. Let's go to Eldritch Warlock, Samuel.
Hi, so as I said, I'm Samuel. I can be found on Twitter as Eldritch Warlock. And similar to Alex, I can also be found over on Variant Roles every now and then, and also the RPG Lab. And today I shall be playing Jara, a Tabaxi rogue, who has a few secrets that he's keeping to himself. For instance, why he's suddenly stone cold to the touch.
Great. Let's go to Vasha.
Hello. I'm Amber. I'm playing Vasha, a sea elf cleric. You can find me on Twitter at furore_D&D. I am here with Saltmarsh Stories every couple weeks, and then I'm also every Tuesday on Gratuitous RP in the World of Horan. I am really excited to find the mystery of all of these undead creatures we've been running into.
Yeah. Good. We're gonna go down to Adam now.
Hi everyone, I'm Adam. You can find me on the internet at Adam Barnello. I am playing Derek Altorin. He is a half-elf druid, and I am really excited to be no longer a level 1 spellcaster.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Alrighty, and Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm at Scary Dan on Twitter, which is where I spend most of my online time. But here today I am Sam, the elf barbarian, who, since the last adventure, has got himself a new skirt, which he is loving, and is desperately excited to hopefully find out what is in the jug that we all dug up from under the ship last session. So fingers crossed that isn't just a red herring.
Fair enough. Now, last session, you were all level 1, very squishy, but a fair bit of time has passed since that game. In fact, several months have passed, and you've made Saltmarsh your home of a sorts, for whatever reasons, and however that's working out for you. We do need to say hi to Liz. Hello.
Hi.
I thought I'd gone the other way. My bad.
It's fine. I was just like, oh, I guess I don't get to say hello today.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Hi, it's me, Ryu, your friend and artist and writer friendo. You can find me also on Twitter at Ryu Red Wings 2. And tonight I'm gonna be playing Yumi, our Asimir barbarian. Right, now we can what? I'm joined by my very loud cat.
Amazing. So yes, you are now Saltmarsh locals. You've been there for a couple of months, and you have leveled up. I saw someone in chat saying, "Yay, level 2." No, it's been a couple of months. These guys are level 5 now. They've got some fun stuff at their disposal. So, how about? Just trying to fix my audio. Apparently, my audio is a little bit low, which is frustrating. But let's just bring you guys down a little. Alright, that should be a bit better. Okay. Alrighty, let's get started. So, tonight, you find yourselves in one of the taverns in Saltmarsh. A couple of days ago, the regular summer storms began to roll in, and it's been raining very fiercely ever since. So as you're sitting in this tavern, the storm is lashing the windows. It's a nautical kind of tavern. It feels very at home for most of you, and the storm is absolutely lashing the windows. The door is rattling on its hinges, but it's not worrying you too much because inside this tavern is an air of jubilation. It's been an excellent catch because despite the storms, people have been going out and catching fish. The merchants have been coming in and out, and although the merchants have had a slightly difficult time with the rough seas, the fishermen have been loving it. And today's a day where the catch has been outstanding, and the beer is flowing. People are buying rounds for each other. It's definitely a party atmosphere in here. So you're all sitting around a table. And there are a few people, there's a lot of people in the tavern, almost the entire town is here. So you are sitting around a tavern and having a couple of drinks.
That storm sounds lovely.
I very much agree with you, Rasha. It would be an excellent idea to go out sailing, I think, to experience it in its full enormity, but I think I prefer at this moment to keep my fur dry.
Vasha looks longingly at the door and she's like, "Oh, really?
I'd rather not drown.
I have a bit of a wound on my shoulder from an incident. I prefer to keep it dry for now.
You see her webbed ears kind of wilt, and she's like, "Okay. Well, how'd you get that wound?"
Let's just say you all know my slightly shady past in dealing with certain goods. Let's just say reasserting connections can sometimes lead to confrontations. And the implied company, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Keep your secrets.
Are we in polite company?
We're in public in this regard is plight.
You're kind of in very mixed company. There's pretty much the entire town is here. In fact, Yumi, you recognize the dockhands who you approached over the last couple of days and may have scared the living daylights out of. Vasha, as a long-term local, you notice there's actually even a couple of councillors here. Your boss, or the person who has been giving you jobs over the last couple of months, Anders, is not present. Neither is his butler. They're obviously somewhere else. But you do notice there is another councillor present who you would recognise as Gellin Primewater. He's a very fancily dressed man, one of the primary councillors for Saltmarsh. And he's having a drink at the bar with the person you recognise as the general store owner, Winston. Who is a halfling with honey brown hair curled upon his head and his neck and his chest and his feet. He's a very stout kind of halfling built almost like a dwarf. Gellin is a short, slender, very well groomed man with a pointy black goatee and a very stylish black haircut, dressed absolutely impeccably. Sam would notice that every thread of this man's clothing is just perfect. And other than that, you recognize kind of about 50% of the people in the tavern, so it's definitely mixed company.
But of course, if you all wish, I do have a few stories I could tell. A few past adventures which are more suited for this public conversation.
Always excited for adventures.
Or we could do a little bit of a bet. I tell you 2 stories as to how I lost my fingers. You tell me which is true. Though it's fun to see what people assume.
I would assume they're both untrue, but sounds fun.
Derek, Sam, you want to get in on this?
A good story is a good story, whether it's true or not. I'm in.
Oh, before I forget, during your altercations, did you find any clues as to what our fun jug is?
I have not know. I have managed to keep it below any notice. However, no one else knows of it. I've had to move it a few times, but it is still secure and waiting for us to unveil its mysteries.
Well, that's the important part.
So about these fingers.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Fingers. And Jada actually pulls out a necklace, and you notice there are a collection of finger bones. So, how did I lose them, and how did they come to adorn my neck? Was I caught smuggling cargo of living nature, and my hand was taken as payment? Only for me to escape and lose a few fingers instead of a whole hand? Or was it a fight upon the seas, ones where I lost and had to throw myself into the ocean depths to escape?
I think it was the fight.
I think it was the first one.
You warned me to think that I would trade in living cargo.
I don't think it's either one of those.
What I think is I want to inspect those finger bones.
But of course, unfastens the clasp and hands it across.
Okay.
You'll find all of the finger bones of my left index finger and 2 of them from my left middle.
Okay. Do I know anything about tabaxis and their paw hands?
Oh, make me a nature check.
Okay. All right. I'm totally good at that. Let's find out what's going to happen. Oh, that was almost good. Where's my nature? Oh, there it is. That's an 11.
That's an 11. Well, you know, you've killed like a couple of feline-esque beasts in your time. You certainly would never harm a tabaxi because you know that they're usually
They're people.
Yeah, like they usually, you know, more often than not, they're good people. All the ones you've met have been lovely. So while you haven't ever actually killed a tabaxi, you've killed like feline-esque creatures, and checks out. They're definitely bones.
I hand it back to Jara.
Yes, thank you. I keep them as a reminder of not to be so careless. But, Derek, well done. And tosses you a silver piece. Neither are true.
Catch it.
Oh, I think that means I won.
Yes,
Look
that's
at it.
true.
No, keep it. It's
I just set it on the table and push it back over towards you.
I read about a slightly
Appreciate it.
different wager. Then, can you tell me what was false about them? Was it the whole story? Was it part of the story?
Well, You definitely lost your fingers.
That is true.
I win again.
But in that regard, dear Derek, you would be losing. Can you tell me what else was false?
Well, you seem to take great offense when we suggested that perhaps you would smuggle human lives, or living lives, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that you've been occasionally tasked with moving things from one place to another. So the smuggling isn't the offensive part. It's the topic of the smuggling that's the problem. Now, whether you got caught smuggling something you shouldn't have had, that's kind of it's a questionable offense. I don't know that they would take your fingers for that. So it's possible that that part's true. It's possible that that part's a lie. I'd say it's much more likely that the first one was partially true than it is that the second one was the cause.
And you will not take coin as your reward.
No, but
How
maybe
about the
I'll
truth?
ask a favor. Oh, the truth would be even better.
I would wager.
Although
you
I don't
would.
know, I trust you to tell the truth anyway.
That is the question. Am I going to tell the truth or am I going to lie? That is just for
I
you
think
to
you
decide.
like the game too much.
And at that point, the very dapper man who was drinking at the bar with the general store owner actually slides into your booth. Moments later, a full round of drinks follows him because this is Galen Primewater, the primary counselor of Saltmarsh. And he slides into your booth and looks at the finger bones on the table. My, isn't this a grisly pastime? How are we all doing this evening? Oh my goodness, I love your skirt, he says to Sam.
You'll have to tell me who your tailor is.
Oh, we don't give away all of our secrets, do we, darling?
Well, maybe some. Maybe some. What can we do for you?
Well, I was wondering how we all are this evening on this, and he kind of looks around at the packed tavern with the rain lashing the windows. This, lovely evening.
Do you
Bit
someone
dry.
else finds it lovely?
Right. Well, if we are not too busy, and he looks at all of the drinks, the empty tankards, the round he just put in front of you, and if we're not too jolly, I may have a proposition for you. I have heard that you've been doing a little bit of work for my colleague Anders, and have been doing it remarkably well.
That might be true.
Well then, in that case, I think I might have a job for you. I have some items. And at this point he throws a wink at Jara. That I have stored in a cave just near the cliffs, just off the northern end of town. Well, we thought we were going to retrieve them before these storms hit. We haven't. And I have not heard from the crew I requested to store them there since. So, not high hopes for those guys. But I did loan a very important personal item to the leader of that crew, and I need it back. I'm not particularly concerned about the items we've stored there. They'll be fine. But this one particular item I cannot afford to lose. And then he kind of, after saying that, leaning in and speaking confidentially to you, he leans back and, looking Jara right in the eye, says, I'm sure you understand that some things are sensitive in nature. And I would very much appreciate if you didn't spread this particular job of yours around too much.
My friend, when one crosses coin across my palm, silence is part of the deal.
Coin?
Aren't you here for-
Oh, no. I don't think you understand. You've been doing some interesting work. You in particular, my tabaxi friend, have been doing some very interesting work these last few months. Did you really think that every single low-life individual you were doing jobs for was the boss? Did you really think they were in charge? You've been
Yumi's
working
going
for
to-
me.
Yumi's going to lean in very close. It's like, is this a threat?
Against you, my dear? Absolutely not. Against this one, though, and again, pointedly looks at Jara, your other boss, my good friend Antus, is, not particularly fond of those in your line of work. It sure would be a shame if the lot of you were run out of town. But
Can I?
nobody needs to know. I just need one item retrieved, and you can pretend we never spoke.
I don't particularly enjoy being blackmailed.
Me neither. And it sounds like you're blackmailing all of us if you're going after our dear friend.
Oh, it's not supposed to be enjoyable.
Can I
Well-
make an insight check into something he said?
Mhm.
As I was investigating something and I was also doing jobs. Can I
Yes.
tell if it is which one is most important?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Just make me a straight up investigation check.
Would it be investigation or insight?
Insight, yeah. Give me an insight.
Insight. In that case, 24.
24. You're pretty sure he's just talking about the jobs you were doing to try and get yourself into the Saltmarsh smuggling network, because you did a few jobs for a few different people, and he seems to be implying that not all of those people, that some of those people were in fact working for him.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the thing that you were investigating. It's just, it's more the smaller jobs you were doing.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, and he does definitely seem to be switched on about that, because he's quite specific about the jobs and the people. So he's given you enough information that you probably don't know exactly who was working for him, but he's got the specifics that he's not bullshitting you. He's quite aware.
So let me get this straight. The payment for this job is a secret kept.
Pretty much, that's how things do work around here, for the most part.
You know what? I like you.
Oh, and you can rely on me for support, of course. And if you do this for me, I do treat my friends well.
I don't like to rely on vermin.
Oh, you wound me. You think I'm the only smuggler in this town? Your
No,
friend
but
here.
You're very blatant and very stupid and loud.
Oh, the tavern is very, very loud, and he's talking to you. Like, it's not like he's standing on the table and yelling this, but it's quite a noisy space. And then he goes, "Oh, you do wound me. I am certainly no different to your friend here."
He's right, He's right, Yumi. He is no different. I've done the exact same thing in the past before. It is not exactly uncommon. You do not pay in coin, you pay in favors and secrets and exchanges of other social contracts.
I don't like it.
You don't spend as much time on the water as I have and not bring a few things here and there without necessarily putting them on the ship's log. But I don't know if I like the way that you're suggesting that we are forced to take you on.
Oh, you were
with
not.
this job.
You were not forced to. But
You're
if
forcing us.
this young man would like to continue his other dealings in Saltmarsh, many of those go through me, and I need to know that the people I work with can be trusted. I'm not going to
So
send you in there alone or anything. I will give
So
you
you're forcing
things.
Jara, and that's the difference?
Do you feel forced, Jara? Do you feel like this is out of the ordinary, over the top, and just generally unreasonable?
Oh, I feel forced, yes, but that is a part of the situation. It is not unusual by any means. I am definitely intrigued and willing to actually do this job, if nothing more than the interest alone.
You
Might
said the question of
make-
trust.
I have a question though. I think, and Derek, you might be on the same thought level as me. You want people that you can know that you can trust, but how can you know that you can trust them if you're forcing them to work for you?
Personal interest is a very strong motivator, my dear.
I have two questions. One, actually, no, I'll save that one for last. How do we know that when we come back, let's say we do this thing for you, how do we know you will not take care of Jara, or if you take care of us because of your secrets?
Well, I mean, you now know my connections, and you're aware of some of my dealings in town, so you have that over me, if, of course, you could convince anybody to believe you, your word against mine.
You'd be surprised.
Precisely. So we're all on the same level here. I need this item back. It's a personal item of great significance, and I don't trust anybody else here to do it without dying.
Okay,
I
question
need it
number
back
2.
now.
Question number 2. Is this item dangerous?
No, it's a minor magical item that I use to keep in touch with people. Without it, my business is significantly reduced. I loaned it to the leader of this crew so that they could complete this job effectively, and the stupid bugger got himself killed in this bloody cave. I clearly overestimated him.
Do you have a name of this silly bugger?
None that concerns you, my dear.
Description, some identifying feature then, or are we to turn over every corpse that we come across?
Oh, I think you'll notice him, but he will have the bag in which I keep this item on him, which is a brown leather satchel with a red wave pattern on it. So he will have that on him. I gave him strict orders to not let that leave his person. I'll tell you what, though, to sweeten the deal, the young man is a bit of a hound for magical items. I suspect he had several others on him. You are perfectly free to loot the hell out of his corpse. I do not
Stop walking.
care. I simply do not care. I just want my item back.
What's in the cave? Not your items. What is killing people?
Probably a lot of water. These storms rolled in. I mean, you saw them the other day. They rolled in much quicker than usual, much quicker than expected, and with a violence we have not seen in 20 years. I miscalculated. That was my bad. I thought we'd be able to get in and out of the cave before that happened. I was wrong. I suspect they drowned. Horribly.
You said you sent people. You didn't say that you were there before.
I mean, I've been there before. I certainly scoped it out, but,
Can I inside check this guy about this?
Sure.
Change the story real quick.
Sure, yeah.
And somebody else, please do it for me if I'm terrible.
I'll join in.
18! There are definitely aspects to the story that he is not telling you, but the bits he has told you feel true. Like, you look at this guy and he's wearing like a very sharp pinstripe suit, a high-collared black silk shirt, he's got gloves, this guy, he's probably like looked at that cave from 300 meters on a boat and gone, she'll do, and then sent people in. Like, this guy doesn't get his hands dirty. Ever.
Oh, Yumi hates him already. She
He's
hates
got,
him so
like-
much.
He's got like slick blue nail polish on. He's wearing a bit of eye. Like, he is like every inch of this guy just yells flawless.
No, she hates him.
Yeah,
She
and
hates
he is
him.
not going to do anything to jeopardize that ever.
Out of curiosity, how old roughly does he look?
He's about his 40s. Let me just check that one. I did write that down. He's probably closer to 60. He's getting on a bit. He's like late 50s. But there's, and it's funny because everybody else kind of his age, even Scarron, who's in his 40s, who you met last time, everybody kind of, ooh, I don't know what happened there. That's all right. My window went a little funny. But yeah, everybody you've met who's lived here all their life and is getting on a bit is quite weathered and grey and definitely some bleached greying hair. This guy, though, looks like he just walked out of the city. He's got no grey hairs. His hair is like this lustrous black, probably dyes it. But yeah, he's about 60, 55, 60. So he's getting on.
Thank you.
I'm becoming more interested. I think we need to sweeten the pot a little bit, though. We do this for you. You tell Sam who your tailor is.
I like this.
Is that an agreement that you'll do it for me?
For now.
It's a start.
Wonderful.
I don't know, actually. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, no. This is gonna if this is gonna get us on the boat, let's get on the boat and see what we find.
And get you that tailor.
And Gillen kind of leans over towards you, Sam, and just goes, I have a private tailor. I'll give you his address. Oh, that winks at you. This guy is a little bit too much, but Sam's probably very into it.
Sam isn't quite sure whether he's going to be given a tailor's address or something else.
Yes.
We'll get them both. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Yes. So, but he kind of sits back and is like, well, I'm not entirely sure what you'll find in that cave other than corpses and a lot of water. My concern is that there have been cave-ins, and he kind of starts rummaging in his jacket. I think you need to understand how much I need this item back, and he pulls out a small black velvet bag and drops it on the table between you all. You know, just in case you run into any, obstacles.
Can I look in the bag?
Yes.
What's in the bag? Yes.
In the
Sam,
bag,
what's in the bag?
you just... In the bag are 7 tiny little shiny black beads.
Okay, I take them out and like put them in the palm of my hand and show. I have no idea what they are. I'm guessing.
He's Gallen's just sitting there very smugly. If everybody wants to make me, I guess, an Arcana check.
Oh yeah, that's a natural one. Sam's got no clue what's happening.
Yeah,
Classic.
that's an 8.
I got
That's
an
20.
18.
18 and 20. Derek?
I did not roll. I'm not trained in Arcana and would have no idea what these are.
Doesn't care. Fair.
I got a total of 22.
Nice. Jara and Yumi, you've seen these before. You've both used these before. They are beads of force. So you chuck them at something and they go...
Like,
I like these.
How interesting. I've not seen anything. Like, I've not seen these in, what would it be, about 10 years now.
I am a man of high resources.
They're very fun. You throw them at something, it destroys anything, more or less. Depending on what it
Oh,
is.
yes, I know. Yeah. I had a friend who loved that. We couldn't get them out of his grasp quick enough.
You also know that where it hits, it expands force, but then the area of that force kind of freezes, so anything that's caught in it stays in it. So it's not just an explosion, it's like an explosion with an after effect. So it's very, very useful for clearing cave-ins, because it stops it from then caving back in further, and it's also very useful when you're encountered with a lot of things that you want to stop. So it's quite a useful thing that he's given you.
Yumi leans over and she kind of tosses Sam's hair a bit. She's like, I guess it's just not going to be you and me destroying stuff.
That's right. We can look after these for everyone else. It's all good.
Yumi takes them very carefully, just tips them back into the bag and puts it in her pockets.
Yeah, Sam sort of nods and is like, yeah, that's probably best.
Not that I don't trust you, but I'll keep these.
Fair. Gellin kind of indicates to the drinks on the table and says, if you don't mind, and he looks out the window and the storm is not really slowing down. He's like, I have some concerns about the safety of this item. Would you mind terribly retrieving it this evening? Like now, like...
In that?
Oh, this is a lovely evening. What's wrong with all y'all?
It's beautiful, isn't it? The majesty of
Weather.
nature.
The force of the lightning and all the thunder.
Basha.
What's wrong with it?
Just gorgeous.
What?
Basha, I learned how to swim a month ago.
You don't have to worry about that.
I do worry about it a lot.
I can help control some of this weather if that's your concern.
I'm good, but if we're going swimming, I need to change.
I wouldn't
It's
want to
fine.
get any
It's
of your
fine.
beautiful skirts dirty. Now, where exactly is this cave?
Well, you head north out of town, along the cliffside, and then actually turns to you, Sam. Very close to where you adventured the other day, I believe. You didn't tell anyone where you went.
How did you know where I went?
I'm a man of many resources, but it is about 100 meters further along the cliffside than where you were. I don't recommend going along the beach because, and again, gestures outside. There will be a path from the top of the cliff down to the cave entrance. It's only about 60 feet down, you know, it's not too bad. But just about 100 meters further from the place you went the other day.
Okay. Well, I guess I know where we're going, y'all.
Well, then, should we get this done? No point waiting around, no?
You just see Vasha's ears like perk up and she's like super excited. She's like, ooh.
Yumi very pointedly grabs her second drink and pulls it towards herself.
What time of night is it right now?
It's probably about 8. It's probably about 8 because the ships come in at sundown, so you've probably been drinking for just a couple of hours after the ships have come in. But it's not super late. People tend to go to bed early and get up early in this town, so it's not like approaching midnight or anything. It's probably about 8 p.m.
Fair enough.
I think then we have an agreement, my friend.
Well, that is
Hooray.
just delightful to hear. I look forward to your return with my item.
Sure.
Would we know where to bring this item? Have we worked with Prime Water enough to know where?
You haven't worked with Prime Water at all. You've worked with Anders, the other councilman, the other councillor. If that was a question to Gellin, he'd lean in and say, bring it to me here. I think it's going to be a big one tonight. And indeed, the raucousness of the tavern is not slowing down at all.
If we're not back by dawn,
Oh, I assume that means you're dead.
I was going to say keep waiting, but sure, that too.
Or it means that you've betrayed me, in which case I will hunt you to the ends of the earth.
Good luck. Just because we're taking this job for you, I don't want you to get the impression that that means that we like you.
Oh,
We don't.
no, that's perfectly okay. It might surprise you to know that I'm used to that kind of statement.
It doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Are you leaving yet?
He puts his hands up and gets up and goes back to the bar to continue drinking with his halfling companion.
Yumi just immediately turns to the group. I hate him.
I don't know.
Ja-
Honestly, I kind of like him.
Yeah,
I
he likes
hate
this
him.
stone.
Jara unclenches his hand from the table, and you can see claw grooves have been carved. I have
But only
gotten-
3 of them, right?
I was going to say it was his right hand, but no, in this case, yes. It is. I have gotten out of skill, it seems. I've lost getting injured. Put me back. You may do me a favor when we leave. Punch me, would you?
What?
Messed up. Just punch me. I messed up.
I could knock you unconscious. Are you sure?
Yes. I need to learn. I shouldn't have made such a mistake.
Ooh.
3 years ago and I would have been fine. But no, and fuck up and get us in this.
We
Okay.
do not need to be punching each other. We probably have enough danger that we'll be facing wherever we're going.
We'll punch you when we get back.
Yes,
Yes.
how about we do that? That sounds fair.
He
I
has
like
much
that
people.
idea better. Or I could just slap you right now. How does that sound? That happens in taverns, right? People get slapped.
Yeah, I've seen it happen before. Go ahead.
Okay, I slap him. Gently.
Well, I mean, roll to attack, obviously.
Alright, let's see. I think this would count as an unarmed attack.
Yeah.
Oh, I still have a +8. Oh boy. Okay. 14.
Only that would miss.
Okay, but you're gonna like
But I'll
move
say it hits.
into
Yes.
range, which means that
Yes.
because you've deliberately moved into range, it's not gonna cause any damage.
Yeah,
If you'd have
not
actually
lethal,
hit,
yeah.
if you'd have actually hit, that would have caused some damage. But because you missed it, then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna let that happen." No damage.
Yeah, you can tell. Like she's like, I don't really want to actually hit you. You can. It's written all in her body language. She's like,
That is fair. I shouldn't have asked you to do that. One moment, and you watch as he digs his claws into the side of his neck.
How's that better?
Should we
Because
just
I am
go
very-
before this escalates?
Yeah, I should do something.
Oh, goodness.
You'll notice when he draws his claws back, there's no blood. He clearly punctured his skin, but there's no blood. Well then, shall we get on with it?
I can do
Now,
that.
wait a minute.
I have
I am
questions.
someone who, as someone who has studied medicine very greatly, that's not normal.
Yeah,
No,
somebody
it is
just
not.
fought a-
I agree.
Yeah. I fought a
What-
lot of enemies.
Yeah, before we leave then, Rasha, will you give me a hand and I will show you what is happening to me?
Sure. What kind of hand do you need?
Your physical hand.
Okay.
Just presses it against the side of his neck, and rather than a pulse, you feel nothing for about 10 seconds, and then a single pulse, and then nothing for about 15 seconds, and another pulse.
How is that possible?
It is payment for a boon, and I shall leave it as that. Secrets are secrets until you win them in a game.
More secrets that you'll be keeping, I presume?
Unless you manage to win them, as they say.
You're a weird dude, Yara.
Mm-hmm.
It would not surprise you to learn that I have heard that a lot. Thank you.
Interesting, though, but anybody who has a pulse still bleeds.
You'll notice at this
Well-
point there's like a single drop of blood starting to.
Okay.
If your blood pressure's low enough that you're having one beat of your heart every 15 seconds, the blood's not coming out very quick. Is it red?
If it's Tabaxi's blood is red, then yes.
Okay.
Well, with my punishment out of the way, shall we get on with it? My mistake, after all. I mean, if you all would prefer to stay away from it, so be it. This was my mistake. I got us into this, so I'm willing to do this alone if you so wish.
Look,
I
we
would
haven't
love-
worked together this long for us just to run away the first time one of us gets caught out by something.
Yes, and I think I would love to see these things and grab whatever he has out of spite.
I just think you should take the lead.
Who? Shara?
Sure.
I mean,
If he wants to pay penance for this, that's fine. We're still on.
Shara,
I say he
you
take-
want to
But
lead
didn't
us all around?
wasn't it Sam that knows where the cave is?
Oh, yeah, it's.
Oh, yeah.
All right, then Sam take the lead.
Yumi carefully puts down her ale.
Maybe less of this until we come back, and then they'll be punching and drinking. But until
I only had
then,
one.
Well, if we're good to
Then
go.
stop.
Let
I
us
have
get on
never
with
been
it.
more ready for anything. Can we please go?
Derek is like halfway out the door by this point. Like,
No, left. All right, so if I'm taking the lead since we know where we are, does everyone have what they need? No one needs to pick up anything, etc.
Hmm.
On
You
my
already
way
see
out-
Vasha standing outside. She's like face just like beaming. She's like, ah, she loves it. A sea elf. This is like her natural element, and she's also a tempest cleric, so she's just like happy as she could possibly be.
on the way out the door of the tavern, I stop by the bar and I grab whatever constitutes straws for them, which I assume are some kind of natural reed, given that there's probably not plastic
yeah,
in Saltmarsh.
it's like
Perfect.
a bamboo sort of thing that's been imported. Merchant town.
Yep.
I see where you're going with this.
Yumi just watches Vasha enjoying herself on the ride, and she's just thinking, like, I think maybe we should try to make a point to get her out of here more. Just like
You
throw
see-
Vasha out in the ocean a couple more times with it.
Let her outside to swim.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, it's storming. Goodbye, bye, Vasha. Chuck.
Jada,
you-
despite those... Sorry, you go ahead.
I was only gonna say real quick that you just see that despite it like downpouring, her hair looks totally dry. Like everything about her is just like, yeah, she doesn't look like she's getting soaked.
Just
Now
completely
Yumi's a
normal.
little jealous.
Yeah, despite the wet cat look, Jada has got...
I love the juxtaposition of like drowned cat versus she's just like, hey.
and despite his earlier comment of not wanting to go out in it, he does seem to relax as soon as he's out in the store.
And then there's Yumi. I am throwing up my hood. I'm wrapping my floating hair around my head, and I'm just doing this. I don't want to be out here. I hate it. I'm from the mountains, damn it. Where's the snow? Put me in a blizzard. I'm great.
All right. Well, the caves that I visited, that I was apparently seen visiting, that way. Shall we go along the beach? Or he suggested I went along the beach, but the weather wasn't quite this bad.
Yeah,
Should
and
we go
it-
along the suggested route?
as you kind of start heading north towards town, and you get to the point where you have an option to kind of head upward along the top of the cliffs or along the beach. The beach is pretty clear for about 100 meters, and then you can see waves like twice as high as you're used to seeing them, just absolutely slamming onto the beach up to where they hit the cliffs. The rocks that you were walking on previously, you can't even see them. This is like high tide plus storm plus rain. It's just, you look at that and you're like, oh.
Cliffs.
See, like Vasha's like leaned down. She's like pulling up like a little sea star, and she's like, "Look!" And she's like handing it to people.
It is a gorgeous sight, is it not, Rasha? Totally
That's-
shows you the majesty of the ocean.
Absolutely stunning. This is the most beautiful. It just shows all of the majesty of the ocean and my people. This is just our most beautiful sight that we could worship.
I mean, there's always been a reason I called the ocean my first love, and this is it. It is gorgeous.
This is shit weather for sailing.
And indeed, as you start walking up the cliffs, the wind is just howling around you. It's tearing at your cloaks and your hair and anything else it can reach. Making your way north even further, the rain's beating at you. It's like tiny freezing fists of cold that worm their way into every possible crack in your clothing. Derek is not wrong. It is miserable. Vash is having a great time.
Yeah.
To your left, all the farms and fields that support Saltmarsh's agriculture are lost in just a haze of rain. And to your right, a mere handful of feet away, 60-foot cliffs are plunging unevenly into a roiling ocean. Waves are slamming into the cliffside, sending salt spray up to join the rain. And it takes about 45 minutes of walking in this before you reach the spot that Gellin had indicated. And as you kind of reach there, you can see that there does look like there's a bit of a path that's been trampled over the edge of the cliff. Like the path that you're on kind of branches off and disappears over the edge.
I could ask and see if any of my, like I could communicate with some of the creatures in the sea and see if there's anything nearby that they've seen. Would you guys like me to do that?
Sure.
Worth a shot.
Worth it. Yes.
She just kind of kneels down and she picks up like some seaweed and like other things, and she just kind of starts like whispering into it in Aquan, I believe is the language she speaks. Does she get anything back?
Is that just a thing Vasha can
The
do?
elf thing. Yeah,
It's the
like
elf
very,
thing, yeah.
very simple things, not like lengthy, like
Yeah. You know, it's been a little while since you've done this, and what you get from it is more of an emotion than a picture or a word or anything, and you just get this slight unease. And it's been a little while since you've done this, but there is just this sense of not quite comfort, of vague unease, that kind of feeling you get when you're alone in your house at night and you know there's nothing there, but you just don't feel quite comfortable. It's that just that slight tingle at the back of your neck, that unease. Not fear, not danger, just uncomfortable.
Vasha stands up and she kind of pulls her cloak a little tighter, clasping the seashell clasp, and wipes a little salt spray from her cheek, and she looks at them, and she's very comfortable in the ocean. That is her home. That is the place she feels safest. But she turns to the rest of the party and says, I never, ever feel unwelcome and unsafe in the water. But I feel as if there is something not right here. As if that I'm not welcome in my own home, sort of feeling. I feel like there's definitely danger ahead. More than just a lot of water, as that counselor was saying. So just be very careful.
Safe to assume he was lying through his teeth about the majority of everything, and also that he probably didn't see half of the things that are in here.
All right, at least now we have confirmation of some kind.
Lovely.
If you guys want, since I am trying to repay Katrinus in this mess, I can certainly use my skills in being quiet and kind of move ahead and see if I can't notice anything that might be a threat to us.
Path goes underwater, I think, from what I'm seeing. Right?
Well, Yumi, as you kind of walk to the edge of the path where it goes over the cliff and down, when Gallon told you that there was a path down the cliff and I'm sure it's not too bad. He's clearly never actually been here because it is almost vertical. It's like you can see there are bits where there's clearly a path in the rock, but there's bits that's a climb down. That's like a vertical climb down. So it's not. Yeah, it's not like a walk. To get down there, you guys are gonna have to like scale the cliff in a couple of different places. You can see that there is a metal ring driven into the rock, where any items or goods that had been sent down here were actually winched down because it's not something that you can pick stuff up and carry down. It's like people would have to either abseil down here or walk and climb a little bit. It's a pretty hairy path.
How does it look in terms of climbing speed? Would it have?
Well, in Dungeons and Dragons talk, it's probably about 3 checks worth.
Okay.
So it's kind of like there's a little bit of a path to start with, and then a bit where you'll have to climb, and then there's a bit of a ledge about halfway down, and then like there's a couple of spots where you can kind of stop, and there's a couple of spots where a path has been carved into the mountain, but into the cliffside. But for the most part, it's like rock, sheer rock.
So, Jara, in his experience, being the Tabaxi having the climbing speed, would know this isn't really suitable conditions for that to.
It's tough. It's certainly not ideal conditions. But looking down to the base of the cliff, 60 feet below, there is really no way to walk along it. I mean, it might be possible to reach the entrance. You can see the entrance to the cave is like a hole in the rock. It's almost a vertical hole in the rock, and the waves cover the hole, hitting the cliff, and then recede. And there's maybe a space of 2 or 3 seconds where you can get in to this cave entrance. When the sea's lower and the tide's out, you could probably reach it by boat or very easily by this access point. But with the storm and the high seas, it's just a little bit more complex.
If you guys want, go ahead, Yumi.
No, I'm just making a stupid comment. I'm 80% sure I think this man was just trying to subtly kill you.
It would not be the first time, but if you guys want, I can try and climb down. Since with our previous excursion we see boat, you know that I can climb pretty well. I can see if I can't get down, take a rope down with me, and perhaps drive it into the cave wall, and have it aid you in your descent.
Sam's happy to give you a hand in that. He feels pretty confident that he could have a stab at climbing down with you if you wanted a hand. But he's quite happy to lean on your expertise.
I can help and give everybody a little bit of guidance walking down or climbing down, but
this was my mistake. I would like it if I could go down first, and if there is anything that will kill us, it will kill me first, and you lot can leave.
Oh, for
when
goodness.
You say that, Jara, when you say that, Vasha comes up to you and she puts her hand on your shoulder and she looks at you very sternly. And after having worked with you for several months, she feels like she's grown close with you. And she says, "My friend, I need this talk to stop because you are my friend. I consider you a close friend even. And this is not a punishment. If you made a mistake, that's fine. But we are all here for you, and I will not see you kill yourself in some kind of quest for redemption."
I am not looking to kill myself, don't worry about that. I just would prefer to put myself before the danger in this situation because I caused it. I'm not willing to throw my life away, and if something is there, I will definitely fight it to my very last breath.
She squeezes your shoulder a little bit, but just don't put yourself in any unnecessary danger because you feel guilty of any kind. Just know that we're all here and we're in this together.
I agree with Vasha.
These bones of mine are empty and have been for a long time. You lot give me a bit of life and purpose once more. I'm not willing to throw that away so quickly.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
But yes, give me some rope and something to drive into the cave wall. Let's see if I can't make something a bit easier for you lot without claws.
And then she like taps your shoulder too, and you get guidance just to like help you. I don't know if I have rope. I'm assuming I probably do.
I have
Everyone has rope.
on.
Rope's the
I've
kind
got
of
rope.
thing that everybody's got rope.
Okay. I would imagine in Saltmarsh
Yeah.
we have to have rope.
And if there is no opposition to it, Jar will take the rope and a spike or something
Yeah.
and start trying to climb down
Okay.
using his claws. Since he has his his fingertips and his
Yeah.
toe bared at all times for this express
Because
purpose.
you've got an actual climbing speed, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
20 feet.
Alrighty. Cool. So the first bit of the path is pretty easy. You can kind of just walk down it, and then it gets to a point where there's a drop, and you've got to climb down. There's a fair few handholds here because this is something that people have done before. It's just a lot tougher in the rain, where it's all a bit slippery and the wind's kind of buffeting you. You're not a particularly big guy, so this is, even for you, it's pretty hairy. So I'll get you to make me a dexterity. I'll get you to make an acrobatics or athletics, whichever you prefer, with advantage because of your climbing speed.
Definitely acrobatics.
Yeah, I'm giving you a choice because you've got the climbing speed, and
Would guidance come into this?
yes, sure would.
Guidance is a D4, is that correct?
Yes.
That's 20 total.
20. Yeah, you clamber down really easily. You get to the halfway point, and you see that there, in the rocks here, there are actually a couple of points where somebody's kind of dug pinions in, and the kind of like steel loops into the rock to help winch goods down. So there are places in the rock already that you can kind of thread a rope through and make almost like a rope, not quite a ladder, but something to hang on to for people.
In that case, he'll start doing that as he passes
So you
in.
can be threading that as you go, which will help the others get down. Because you have got climbing speed, I won't get you to make another check. That was just to make sure that you can hang on in the wind and the rain. So you get down to the point where the cave entrance is quite easily. There's a big flat section of rock. You kind of have to press yourself back against the cliffside for most of the time because the waves are coming almost up to your feet at this point. You're in a little bit of a sheltered area. The entrance to the cave itself is not. So it gets covered with water that comes back, and you can see that it's full of water. It's not like once you go in there, you'll be underwater, and there's no real indication of whether you come up again.
Is there any kind of ledge or area that he could stand on prior to going into the cave?
Yeah. It's like close to the cliff. It kind of digs in a little bit, and there's an almost little bit of a sheltered, almost overhang flat bit. And then there's a bit of the flat rock, and then the entrance to the cave is almost a vertical hole, like almost like a shaft down into the rock. And the waves are hitting you, but they're not. It's quite a sheltered little spot. So you see him reach the bottom. The rest of you see Jara reach the bottom and duck sideways into this slightly sheltered area.
Okay, so if you can hit with the spike you put down, you'll try pin the rope to
Okay.
the wall, basically.
I'll get you to make a athletics strength check to drive that into the rock.
Pretty good, actually.
Okay.
19.
Great. Yeah, you find like a crevasse in the rocks, and you drive it in and tie off the rest of the rope. So
In that
there's
case,
now like a rope attached to the wall the whole way down, that when you guys are climbing, you can hang on to it and kind of use it almost like to abseil in the bits where you've got to climb, so that'll make it a lot easier to get down.
Reaching into one of the pouches on his belt and muttering under his breath, "My shadow curse my shoulder, I could have done that climb so much quicker in my youth." He's going to withdraw a length of wire, wrap it around his finger, point upwards, and Derek will hear, "I have the rope secured. Come on down, please, and do be careful. The cave is underwater, so I am on a rather narrow shelf right now as I cast message."
Good. Derek, you hear that in your head.
kind of look around a little bit. It sounds like he's secure on the cliff floor. So I think we could start going down now.
Well, whoever wants to go next, I will help provide a little support.
I'm going to take a step back and let everyone else go first.
Oh, I was gonna Yumi was going to ask to go last because she knows she's the heaviest.
I'll fight you for last.
Ah,
Don't challenge her about this. She's like, I'm the heaviest person here.
Then go ahead and go first.
So I can loosen everything? I think not.
So while those two are bickering about who gets to go last, who's going next?
yeah, Sam, we will take up Varsha's
Yep.
offer and start to climb one down.
Yep.
She pats you on the shoulder and you get guidance.
Great.
Thanking you.
This will just be a strength check for you. This will be athletics.
No chance of acrobatics?
Not for this. I gave it to Jara because he's got the climbing speed, but unless
No,
you've got a
fair enough.
climbing speed, this is just gonna be, can you hang on to these slippery rocks while the wind is trying desperately to throw you off?
That's a 10.
Alrighty. Make
Did you
me
add your...
Oh,
guidance,
no,
guidance.
D4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that is 13.
13. Still not enough.
Ah,
But make me a dexterity saving throw as your hand slips on the rope and you start to slide.
that is 19.
19. Okay, you managed to find a footing and you're kind of like almost horizontal out over the rocks, just holding onto the rope, your feet dug in. And you can continue your descent without falling. Make me another strength check, athletics check.
That's much better. That's an 18. I've clearly found my footing.
Yeah, an 18. So from that halfway point, very slowly now, you get yourself hand over hand, finding the footing, getting your hand holds, and you find yourself on the flat bed of rock with Jara in the little indentation behind you.
All right, I give Jara a pat on the shoulder and a sincere thank you for embedding the rope so securely.
Don't worry about it and careful of the shoulder, please.
The other shoulder, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Vasha looks at Derek and Yumi. Now, seriously, why don't either one of you want to go down and have a little help?
I fold my arms and I stare at Derek, saying nothing.
Oh my god.
I sigh and then walk over to the rope.
That's better.
She, like, pats you very, like, unenthusiastic.
I guess I'm next.
Great. Strength. Athletics check for me.
Yikes.
Yeah. Druids.
Athletics. I'm actually proficient in this. 19.
Yeah. You very easily, hand over hand, very quickly, grumbling the whole way. Halfway down, make me another one.
Same roll, 19 again.
Yeah, no issues. You get down to the bottom. Don't know what everyone's complaining about. That was really easy.
Rude.
About how long is it taking us to get from the top to the bottom?
I'd say probably about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
And Tarek, between you and Vasha, I think you're the only ones I really know who might have something to deal with the fact that where we want to go is in the water.
Right,
You
I will.
happen-
Once everybody gets down to the bottom. That's why I asked that question. When everyone gets down to the bottom, I'll take care of it.
Wonderful, thank you. I was getting a bit worried.
Vasha crosses her arms. Now, really.
Yumi just motions for Vasha to go in front of her.
If you're the heaviest, don't you want a little bit of help getting down?
I can climb ropes, but also I just want to make sure I don't loosen anything. I mean, Vasha, look at me.
If worse comes to worse, I'll jump off the cliff into the sea. And that's where I'm in my element.
Okay, I didn't think about that. All right, don't. I know you just said you can jump off the cliff and fall into the ocean, but please don't fall off the cliff.
Well, I don't want to do that first.
All right.
She like pats you like reassuringly.
Guidance.
What does guidance do?
You get
You
a
add
1d4.
a D4 to ability check.
Okay, D4, thank you. I was like, I have never had guidance cast on me before. No one's ever done that for any of my characters. All right, let's go.
All right,
As-
so that's an
as you-
athletics.
Yeah, as I'm like grumbling about like, I wish I still had my wings as I'm going down this stupid rope. Oh, thank you for that guidance. They no difference. 15.
15
Oh wait,
is...
no. Wait, I
Wait.
need to add stuff.
Okay, well, if it's 15
I'm
without adding
fine.
stuff, 15 is
Yeah.
what you need.
Yeah, 15 plus 8. I'm okay.
Yeah, you're all good. To get the halfway point, you're just kind of like, oh, this is much easier than I thought it was going to be. Oh, slightly, this is really easy. Get you to make another one for me, from the halfway point down to the final spot.
Oh, roll the same. Wow, we are all rolling the same things in a row. A 14 again, plus 8, so
Yeah.
that's like 22.
Yeah, just in fact, you kind of just like abseil the rest of the way down and confidently land on the rock. You're like,
Just look
Basha.
over at Derek. I'm fine.
I think I can do that to myself, right?
yeah, you can guard.
I'm
guidance
a
yourself
willing creature.
down. Yes, you are. You're like,
I'm like, and I make my way down. That is total of non-natural 20.
yeah, yeah,
And
very easily, hand over hand,
second
enjoying the
ooh,
rain.
Second one's a total of 8.
Total of 8. Make me a dexterity saving throw as overconfident now. Your feet slip off the rock and you find yourself sliding much like Sam was.
Sure. Oh, that's a nat 1. So a
Oh
4.
boy, you scrabble, your feet scrabbling on the rock, can't find the purchase, and you are falling.
Yep.
Can I catch her?
You can
Yeah, can we see
certainly
this?
give that a go. Since you were the last person to get down, I'll say that you're still kind of in that space.
Okay.
Make
What do I
me...
roll for
Oh,
that?
shit. You know, that's probably going to be dexterity just to get yourself in position.
No, not dexterity.
So make
please.
me a dexterity.
Okay. Am I
General
adding
dexterity
anything?
check. Your general dexterity check.
I don't have anything for dex. Yumi's not fast.
I
That's an
fall
8.
on you?
That's an 8.
Okay. You standing like, I got you. You don't got her. Like at all. Vasha, you kind of hit the rock a little. You do hit the rocks because you didn't jump out. You just kind of fell straight down. And you're gonna take 5 points of falling damage as you
Fair.
crunch onto the rock.
Yeah,
And Yumi's
I
standing there
stand
like this.
up and I'm just like, you can see like scrapes and stuff. I'm like, oh, I
Oh.
am certainly meant for the ocean and not climbing.
Yumi helps you up, and she's going to dump her 5 points of healing hands into you.
And you just, like, she feels the warmth and she's like, oh, thank you so much, dear. Ow.
Sorry, I tried to catch you. It didn't
No,
work.
I appreciate it. I'm not real graceful in the air.
Yeah, and from inside that little cavern, the rest of you saw Yumi go, and then Vasha just poof, into the ground next to her.
As all of that was going down, once I saw that everyone but one person had come down, knowing how long it was going to take, I take out the straw, the reed that I got from the bar, and I began drawing some designs on the in the dirt at the base of the cliff, as well as chanting a few things. And then as the two of them kind of walk over after all of that happens, I stand up, kind of come back to myself, snap the reed in half, and cast water breathing on everyone in the party as a ritual.
Cool. So that takes you about 10 minutes to do, which I think is a pretty great time to go and take a 10-minute break, which I'm trying to get better about doing and giving my players a break. So we're going to be right back. Now is a really good time for you guys to check out the scheduled events tab to see what else we've got going on the Greyhawk channel and to join the Discord to continue the conversation. But we will be back in 10 minutes. And we're back. Thank you everybody for sticking around. Where we left off happened to be in a kind of alcove at the bottom of the cliff, ready to jump into the underwater entrance of this cavern. Derek has just cast water breathing on everybody. That 10 minutes that we took was the 10 minutes Derek was doing the ritual, so you are all water breathed and ready to go.
What does that actually do to us? Do we feel like a physical change? Are we reacting to this in some weirdly visceral way?
How would you feel if suddenly the water did not seem particularly threatening to you anymore? You could still breathe as normal in your regular atmosphere, but you can also breathe underwater. Doesn't give you a swimming speed, but it does make it so that you aren't harmed by the effects of breathing underwater.
I think I'd be more cavalier about that feeling if it wasn't this weather.
Yeah, actually,
Masha?
in this kind of weather, it's almost like the rain isn't as annoying anymore.
Finally, you understand.
I cast it on Vasha as well, but it was more perfunctory. It was just like, well, you're here. I feel like I should.
Yeah, because for Vasha, this was more like, ooh, that tickles, because she's sea elf, she can breathe underwater, but she like looks at all of you, kind of like, oh, now, like, are you smiling? And then she sees that you're not like happy and joyous about this lovely weather, and she's just kind of confused, like, what?
You
I know,
mean
Joe is
looking
loving
less annoyed? Like basically exactly what our lovely DM said. She looks a little less annoyed, but she's still very much like. I think I have figured out. I just don't like being wet. My hair is very heavy.
Maybe it's just a sea elf thing. We just don't get like wet. My hair is dry, and
Well, no, that's not a bad thing. It's okay if you like it. No, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be happy or enjoying yourself.
I mean, to be fair, I like it, but my fur is just going to be terrible tomorrow. It's going to
I
take
bet
so
you'll look so cute and floofy.
Yeah,
You
right,
ever
right
see,
now,
like-
Java definitely has that very drowned cat look. With fur hanging.
You hear like the tiniest giggle come from Yumi at that thought.
Well, I'm assuming we go through here, and she gestures at the opening with the water.
Yeah, it's like a hole in the rock. It's pretty much just a hole in the rock that goes almost straight down into the water.
And she like starts to like put her foot in, and she's like, "Unless, does one of y'all want to go first?"
I would
No.
say I'd like to go first, but I'm not the strongest swimmer as some of you here are, so I think I might just slow us down. So
Rare
go ahead,
occasion,
Vasha.
Here to go first.
What's that, Derek? I didn't hear you.
Apologies. I said this is one of the rare occasions where I will volunteer to go first, both to demonstrate that the water breathing works, and also because, in case there's anything sitting below there, I think I'll probably be best equipped to handle it, with the exception of Vasha, of course.
By all means.
So I'll hop right in.
Yeah, easy. So as you plunge into this opening, you're just hit with a shock of cold salt water. It's colder in there than it was out here. The ebb and flow of the storm-driven waves makes the current down here almost like a living thing you've got to battle against. You've got to hold on to the rock edges as you kind of half swim, half climb down. It gets dark very quickly. How many of y'all have dark vision?
I do.
So everybody except Yumi. No, Yumi, do you have dark vision?
I'm trying to find out.
It's on the left side under, just under saving
Senses.
throws and senses.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Great, so everybody's got dark vision. So your vision quickly goes from normal to a grey scale, and the edges of your vision sort of encroach in. So you only have about 60 feet where you can see, and it's in grayscale. To begin with, the tunnel is claustrophobically small. and you have to go single file. It slants down nearly vertical before leveling out and beginning to rise again. You feel like in less violent seas, this area would probably be above water, but now it's the whole thing is flooded. So you get the feeling that there's not going to be that having the water breathing is probably a good thing at this point. The pull of the waves does gradually lessen and become less aggressive as you wind your way through the passage, and it's going kind of straight back into the cliff. I'm gonna grab a marching order, so it's Derek first.
And Vasha.
Jara would look to go third.
Jara in the middle.
Sounds good to dive in, but in discussion with Yumi, if Yumi wants to go before so that Sam is bringing up the rear, that's fine. But if Yumi wants to go last, Sam is concerned about her being left behind.
I just have one question before I pick where I am. How big is this cave? Because I am the resident giant woman.
Just big enough. Like,
Okay,
your shoulders are scraping the edges.
That's a great DM size. Just big enough.
Yeah, like your shoulders are scraping the edges and you kind of have to pull in a little bit. It is, at least the first bit, it does widen up a little bit after a while, but at least that first bit, when you're first getting in there, is real tight.
Okay, Yumi is then going to let Sam, Yumi will go before Sam because she doesn't want to wind up walking everyone from getting out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Someone to give her a
Sam
shove if she gets stuck.
Yeah, basically, someone can pull on her if they have to.
And there are a couple of kind of hairy moments there where you're like, oh no, no, I'm good. Like,
Yeah,
with the
like
way the waves
wedge.
are pulling and pushing, there's a couple of points where you get pulled back and you think, oh, stuck. No, I'm good. The first, say, 100 meters or so are pretty tight and winding before it opens up into something.
Probably close to, like, Yumi's third worst nightmare.
Yeah, it opens up into a space where you can kind of swim two abreast, so you can go two at a time.
One thing you all notice as we get into the more open area is that the cigar that I've been smoking this whole time, it's still lit. Oddly. There's still just a faint red ember glowing from inside of it.
Druids, man, I don't know.
I just thought of something stupid. Yumi has very long, floating hair. It's probably all in Sam's face right now. All of it.
I can attest to this, yes.
Yeah, her hair's like, when it's wet, it's probably at least like 3 feet long. She's got a lot of hair.
How's
Sam
that
can't
feel?
see shit.
Alex, just for clarification, sorry, due to me going into magic, Jara does have a dark vision of 120 feet.
Right. Yes, fine.
Just as a
Jara can
heads up.
see quite well, actually. You can all see in black and white out to your standard dark vision range. Jara can see a lot. Sam can't see anything because of Yumi's hair.
I can
It's
see
just-
Yumi's hair really clearly in grayscale.
Yeah.
You're seeing all the split ends. Oh, wait, actually, this might be interesting. You can tell my hair at the end is black, and with actually it being in the same space, you probably actually noticed that my end kind of like smokes like it's a lit match, even
Yeah.
under the water.
Even under the water.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm probably going to say that Sam is a little bit distracted at the moment, but I'll get everybody else to make me a perception check.
Huzzah.
Sorry, Sam.
I was going to say, would passive come into play here? Or is it just
Yeah, what is your passive perceptions?
21.
20, yeah. 21.
16.
16.
15 for what it's worth.
Okay. And anyone who's trying to keep an eye on the surroundings can make me an actual check.
Jara's focusing on keeping calm, so he's not really keeping an active lookout.
Yeah.
22.
Cool. Let's have a look here.
21.
21, 22, 21 passive. Varsha.
Staying with 16 because I'm just
Yeah.
more happy that I'm in the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Varsha. Sam is completely blinded by Yumi's hair. In fact, like you have to kind of keep doing this to stop getting tangled in it. Varsha's just enjoying being under the water, and you kind of look around the cave, and you're like, you know what? I bet you can make a really nice home in here. You know, put up some sea
I knew
flowers.
a cousin that had a cave like this.
Yeah. Like you're having sea elf thoughts.
Sea elf thoughts.
Just thinking sea elf thoughts.
That's the best.
But Yumi, Derek, and Jara, you will notice that the further you get into this tunnel, the more kind of the darker it gets, but also the more open and kind of flat it gets. Like after that kind of difficult first part, it's if this bit wasn't underwater, it would actually be quite an easy place to traverse. And with those very high perceptions, you do notice that there is a bloated corpse, kind of at the bottom, sunk down to the bottom, amongst the fine sand that's being kind of pulled up and whipped around a little bit by the currents in here. But there is the corpse of a human being, down on the floor, down on the seabed here. It's probably about 40 feet, 50 feet ahead of you.
So I just rechecked some of the things I could do. I can actually cast light if we think that would be useful.
We can see.
Okay. How many more awful dead corpses we want to see down here? Got it.
I guess I'll swim down and inspect this corpse.
Make me an investigation check.
I probably should have said, hey, someone else should go down and investigate this corpse. 7.
Okay, yeah, it's a corpse. It's gross. It's like bloated, and there's like lumps where you think there might be like corpse gas. So like it's not good. Like this is definitely somebody who drowned. Yeah, very dead.
Jara
dead.
would swim down and join Derek and have a look himself.
Yeah.
By all
You
means.
don't see that satchel, do you?
Make me an investigation check.
Passive investigation,
I'm
thanks. Absolutely.
Just calling down, I'm not.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not. Yeah, no, not much better. 8.
Yeah, still dead. Still dead. Yeah.
I have another question.
Yes.
Can we talk underwater?
So I'm gonna say sort of, but it's not super clear. It's kind of like muffled, and you've got to yell. Like anytime you're talking, it's like, hello, and it's like the bubbles, and
Okay.
it's difficult to make things out. You probably couldn't give each other detailed instructions, but you can yell stuff, like simple stuff.
Okay. By the way, Yumi is wrangling her hair and bringing it underwater so it can finally get a Sam's face.
Oh, thank you.
Fair.
Is that what, that's the only thing that appears in front of us?
Mm-hmm. Single
So
corpse.
Vasha swims past it. She looks more closely at it as well, knowing we need to be looking particularly for this
Yeah.
satchel with
Okay.
the red on it. She's gonna look.
An investigation check as you swim kind of over the top of it.
20.
Nat
With a
20. 19. Still, that's pretty good. And what Varsha notices as she's swimming over the top of it is, there's no bag, there's no satchel, but this corpse's hand, this drowned, bloated corpse's hand is still clasped tight around its blade. And that thought occurs to you as slightly unusual, just as its other hand plunges up and grabs you by the ankle, and I need everyone to roll initiative.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
Womp womp.
The trend continues. 3.
Great. Let's go. You know what? Let's go 0 to 5.
3.
3. Great. What's your dexterity modifier?
0.
Great. Good to know.
Yeah.
Nice. 5 to 10.
Yeah, Sam got a 6.
Great, great. Awesome. Off to a stunning start. 10 to 15.
13.
13. Okay. And Vasha. And
19.
Sam. And Sam?
Jara got a 19 as well.
Yes. I mean, Sam is in, Samuel is in, yep.
Sam, not Sam.
Sam, not Sam. Yes. Exactly. Precisely. Sam, not Sam. Alright, well, Jara, you're going to react first to this, this corpse reaching up and grabbing Vasha by the ankle. Actually, Vasha, I need you to make a constitution saving throw.
18.
18? Okay. Good to know. Jara, you see the corpse's hand blast upward and grab Vasha by the ankle.
Having been training himself to get himself back into his old skills, Jara is going to immediately start looking for weak points on this creature using insightful fighting.
Insightful fighting. What does that do?
Their deception was my insight.
Okay.
If I succeed, I can just trigger sneak attack.
Okay. That is really cool. Their deception. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not good. That's like, oh, that's a -3. That's a 0.
I got a 26.
26 versus 0. I think you've won that one. So, yes.
So, in that case, Jada's going to try and pinpoint the weak spots on this corpse or this drowned creature. Draw his rapier.
Yep.
And this is what he does. He's going to try and stab it.
Okay, he's going to swim over and try and stab it.
Yep, that is a 19 to hit.
Yeah. Your blade plunges into the soft, squishy skin of this corpse. Roll me some damage.
Oh, that is not good. 9.
Duly noted.
I did bonus action. That is action. Jara's going to hold his position in front of the corpse.
Good, jolly good. Vasha. This thing has its hand on your ankle. You can try and break free from it, which isn't gonna, it's dead. Or you can attack it without worrying about making it let you go.
So question then, I'm wondering if you see, like, she's got this circlet around her forehead that's got kind of like shells around, kind of wrapped around like this lightning bolt, and it glows. And with that, she kind of casts Turn Undead. Will that like cause it to break?
Yeah, I mean, if it works and it flees, yeah. If it's got to run away from you, it's gonna let you go.
Sure. So that is a Wisdom save that it has to make.
Wisdom save. Oh boy, that's also a negative. Turns out things that are dead are not particularly wise. That is a 17 though.
Oh darn. Okay. Then so that's an action. I can do a bonus action. It'll just hear these soft chimes that are muted in the water.
It's kind of like echoing, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I need another Wisdom save.
Much worse. That's a 3.
Okay, so then it's gonna take, since it's already damaged. Why can't I find D12s in my spell?
I love Toll the Dead. Such a good spell.
I know, right? Ooh, that rolled really well. 17 points of necrotic
Ooh.
damage. Is it necrotic? Yes.
Okay. Okay, got it. Sorry, I had to do some math there, which is very difficult for me. Yumi. Oh, actually, and Vasha, because it is still holding on to you, I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw.
Sure. That is 21.
Perfect. Yumi.
Okay, well, I'm just going to move forward to the best of my ability and I'm going to try to hit it. Specifically, I'm going to try to chop off the arm that's holding onto Vasha.
Okay. Okay, good to know.
Okay. And I'm using my great axe. Because it's cool. I gotta find my stuff. There's my stuff. That's an 18.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Need a D12. This is my D12. Are you my D12? Yeah, you're my D12. Oh, well, that's a big old 7.
Sure. It helps. Everything helps.
But do I chop off the arm?
No.
Aw.
No. You do a fair bit of damage to it. Like, you can see that you've slowed away some of the skin, but no.
You definitely hear me growl underwater. That's annoying.
Yeah, you can hear like
Yeah.
Sam.
Sam, seeing Yumi unsuccessfully, or attempt but unsuccessful at actually severing the arm, he'll swim along and he wants to like just sort of grapple with it to actually try and force the arm to release Vasha.
Yeah,
rather
sure.
than attack it, but like
You're gonna like try and break the hold on her behalf.
yeah, basically.
Right. Yeah. Make me. This will be contested athletics.
Cool. So that is 23.
Nope. Yeah. You grab its arm and wrench it away hard enough that the slice that Yumi made with her axe before snaps the arm, and without the power that's driving it, the fingers just let go of Vasha, and you kind of gently toss the arm into the ocean. But I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
7.
Okay. Sure. We'll just sit on that for a while. Derek. Oh, is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Sam?
No, none of my bonus actions work in this context, so
Yep.
carry on.
Cool. Derek.
Apologize, I was on mute. So at the moment, we have everyone swarming around this undead creature, which is still holding on to Basha's foot.
No, Sam ripped the arm off.
Very good. In that case, I will reach into a pocket in the cloak that I have on and take out some mistletoe and a clover, grind it in like I'm getting ready to swing a baseball bat on my belaying pin and cast Shillelagh, and then I will smash this thing in the head with my club.
With your now magical club.
That's right.
Beautiful guild.
The attack roll is a 17.
Yep, that'll hit.
And I have a whopping 5 points of damage.
Yep, cool. It all makes a difference.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it is its turn now though, and Sam, you ripped off its arm. It's not super pleased.
Well, fair.
Yeah, right. It's going to turn away from Vasha towards you and stab out with the blade that it is holding in its other arm. Oh boy, no, that's a natty 1. That's not gonna hit. But guess what? It's gonna do it again, because even though you feel like your movements underwater are slightly more sluggish than usual, that doesn't seem to be a problem for this corpse. It's moving as if it was in air. That's still pretty bad. 12?
That's a miss.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that dice away. Yeah, that's what it's gonna do. And yeah, no, that's it. That's what it's gonna do. Jara.
So seeing that the creature is being swarming, Jara is going to take a quick moment and glance around and use the eye for detail feature, which a perception check is a bonus action to see if you can spot any hidden creatures.
Okay.
Just in case.
Smart.
That is a total of 20.
Total of 20. You look around and everything is in sharp focus for you with the adrenaline of the fight. You don't see any other hidden creatures. It seems like at this point, this is the only one.
In that case, reassuring himself, he's just going to turn back and finding a soft point again. He's going to try and drive the blade through the ribs of the creature.
Good idea.
Attacking with the rapier for Ooh, 16 to hit.
That hits. These guys are, I mean, their armor's not great, they're dead.
In that case, that's much better. 14 points of damage total.
Yeah. How does it expire? Again.
Jarler, using his abilities to find that weak spot, would like to drive the blade through between the ribs, through the chest, and out through the shoulder.
Yep, so just...
Cases.
And with like almost a slow motion underwater explosion of rotted flesh just into the tunnel. And it crumples back into the sand. And we are out of initiative.
Vasha looks at Sam and just wants to make sure that he's okay.
Oh, wait, we're underwater.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. That means I want to go up.
Yeah, no, I just realized that. But I do kind of want to go up now. That was thoroughly unpleasant. So let's get a move on and find this bag, y'all.
So Jarder is going to stow his rapier, and instead is going to pull out two of his daggers. Finding that using the rapier in the water, it's unwieldy.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you guys continue on.
What's the without passive perception? What's the general thrust of the space? Is there like other wreckage or clearly like stowed smuggled items from what the fellow was saying stashed around the place, or
Not
this is
in
just
here. Not
a
in the
cave full
tunnel.
of water?
Yeah, not in
tunnel?
here. You're still kind of in
Okay.
the tunnel. I suppose Vasha, with the really high perception check you did, the fact that there's one of them here and you're still in a tunnel, there's really not a cave yet. This guy was probably a guard. He may have even been trying to flee when the tunnel flooded. So there's probably more, but this guy was like either an outlier or a guard or trying to run. But you were still in the tunnel. Alright. So you guys continue down the tunnel. Can I grab a marching order?
I'll continue to go first.
Sam is going to be in front of Yumi this time, even though she's tied up her hair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would be second, I think.
Mhm.
Again.
I think Jarder would still be third.
Yeah, I'll be the caboose.
Easy. Alright, so you guys continue down the tunnel, swimming, pulling yourself along. The current gets much more gentle. At this point, you start to see that there are a couple of loose coins on the ground. People have definitely come this way. A boot floats past you, just a normal boot. You're definitely getting closer to somewhere else when eventually, suddenly, the tunnel opens up quite wide around you into a natural cavern that's about 30 feet high and 70 feet across. It's quite large. Several smaller fissures and holes are pockmarking the jagged walls, which kind of suggest to you that this cave flooded and it draws water from other channels than the one that you came through. And when it flooded, it would have been quick and brutal if there were other places that it's drawing water from. Several loads of crates are secured to ledges around the cavernous space. They're kind of tied down and secured with ropes and netting. And gently rocking according to the motion of the very faint current in here are the bloated corpses of what remains of Gellen's crew.
Is there any indication on the bloated remains as to how they died? Was it clear they drowned or by other means?
Make me a investigation check. Okay. They look very similar to the one that you passed. Not all of them. They're different sizes and different people, and they all look like they did drown. They're kind of grayish blue and swollen, and yeah, it's pretty gross.
I want to make a note that Yumi is watching the corpses to see if they're moving.
They're kind
And I
of
do-
they're all on the bottom, so they've sunk down to the bottom, and they're
unnatural movement. I mean,
yeah, but they are moving a little bit, but it's kind of in line with the gentle current of water down here.
Is it possible to tell how many we are looking at?
Make me an investigation check, because you have dark vision. You have the 120 feet of dark vision, but it is grey and things are moving.
That is a 17.
Okay. You count 7 of them. With an investigation that high, you can tell that 2 of them have swords with them. Similar to the one you met in the tunnel. And one of them, sort of towards the back of the cave, is grasping a dagger and a crossbow. There are a couple who are just there. They don't seem to have, there's no weaponry around them. And with a 17, you also notice that the one at the back with the dagger and the crossbow has a satchel across his shoulder.
Considering the fact we're in the water and conversation is obviously somewhat impaired, Jara will do his best to relay this information as best he can. At the very least, give the numbers, if nothing else.
And, like, hand signals and...
Oh yeah, no one speaks Steve, can't do that.
No.
Because that's all hand signs and... That can be.
Are you able to relay to us roughly how far ahead that is? Is this something we're able to see with our dark vision, or is this totally obscure to us?
The rest of you have like a 60-foot dark vision, or 30 feet, don't you? What's the
60.
range? 60? If it's all
60.
60, then you can see the shapes faintly. It's not quite as clear as it is for Jara, but you can see. It's not obscured.
So we've got a clear sense of what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instinctively, Jara is going to go into Thieves' Cant hand signs, go to say, basically, I'll move to flank, realize no one understands Thieves' Cant here, that he was doing so out of instinct, and kind of gesture to himself and then up towards the top of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's kind of like a shadowy area somewhere that's obscured, you'll start swimming in that direction and try and make the hide action.
Okay.
Before he does that, can Sam grab Yumi and grab Jara and try to communicate underwater by, say, sort of give Jara some of those, the beads. What were they? The beads of force?
Beads of force.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
to pass a couple around so that, because if there's a group of corpses that may suddenly turn into zombies, I can see the value in having something that might freeze them all, at least momentarily.
yeah. Thank you. I wanted to do that earlier and I totally forgot. How many beads were in the pouch? I think you said there were 7.
7.
Or 8?
7.
7? Okay. Yumi's going to pass 2 to Jara.
Okay.
For now, and I think just in case she's gonna pass one to Sam. But then like definitely make motions of like, be careful.
I will be fine, don't worry about it.
No, she's like pointing at Samuel while she's doing this. Like, you're fine, I don't care about you. you
Oh,
use the phone.
lovely.
I roll.
Sam, not Sam. I will get everybody to make me a stealth check. If you're going to try and enter the cavern, like you've kind of reached the entrance and you can see in, but if you're going to head in, get everyone to do me a stealth check.
So that's either 29.
Yes.
Does my plate armor still give me disadvantage even though we're underwater?
I'm gonna say yeah, because it's gonna be catching on things and knocking the rocks and...
19!
Oh, buddy.
And a natural 1 again!
With
I just can't be
disadvantage, I got 15.
Okay.
I also had, oh no, I had 14, sorry, bad maths.
16.
Alright. Jara did say you were going to kind of shoot off up towards the top of the cavern and see if there's somewhere to hide. So roll to hide. So another stealth check.
So say that again.
Roll me another stealth check if you're going to try and hide
Okay.
up in there, because it's quite jagged walls, so there's things that you can pull in behind. And
So that's a natural 20 for 30 total.
yeah, you palm off Yumi, you palm off the beads to Jara, and he's gone. He's just like melted into the darkness.
Vasha's like, where'd Jara go? Looks confused.
He's gone.
What it's worth, because he has bonus action dash, he has the cat speed, so he's essentially operating at 120 feet, so he's, as you say, just gone.
Yep, just gone.
The darkness stares back. That's
Yep.
just what I'm thinking right now.
Just gone.
All right. Well,
Meanwhile, I'm somehow doing a tap dance underwater.
Yep. And yeah, Yumi, as soon as you start moving towards the cave entrance, your arm is just like catches on the wall of the cave, and there's a kind of nails on chalkboard grating sound.
I think you can. She immediately stops moving, like instantly. Like, I'm just gonna stay here.
your armor scrapes so loud that Jara's visible again.
Oh, no! Gosh, don't give her ideas! What are you doing?
He's gone.
He's already dead. That's it. That's the secret. I just got the message from Alex. Jared is dead.
Joe's dead. He's dead. He's gone. Something terrible's happened. Okay. So you are around the entrance of this cave. Jara has gone.
Sam's gonna nervously kind of just swim in a little just to see close enough just to get a better, clearer vision of what's actually at the bottom there from what Jara described.
Yeah, dead things.
But visible now, rather than a misty grey in the distance.
Oh yeah. The closer you are, they're dead things. Two of them are clad very similar to the one that you just killed again. You just re-killed in the tunnel. Let me just. Yeah. Two of them are similar to that. About 4 of them just look like dead peasants. And there's one towards the back of the cave carrying that is quite finely dressed if their clothes weren't rotting off. And that one, you can all see quite clearly now, has the strap of a satchel over their shoulder, but because they're kind of lying flat on the ground, on the sandy bottom, you can't actually see what that strap is for.
Ooh.
This feels like a trap.
Yeah. That's what Sam's currently debating. He'll ask everyone who isn't Jara, given that Jara is off hiding somewhere. He kind of waves his javelin a little and kind of says, should I just throw this down there and see what happens or not?
Well, you're throwing it underwater through water, so I don't know if that influences your thought process at all. Are you trying to hit something with it or just disrupt
just disrupt the space.
Then by all means throw it away.
Yeah, Yumi's nodding her head like, no, do it. I think that's a safe idea.
Vasha, you're on board with that? Unless you have a more gentle thought, perhaps.
So are you throwing one of the beads? Is that what you're saying?
No. The javelin weapon I have, just kind of tossing, not targeting, but just tossing down there to disrupt and see if things are disturbed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of have an idea, but yeah. Go right ahead.
All right. Let's do that. I line it up, but I'm not actually targeting anything. It's more just trying to get it down in the midst of these corpses.
Yep. So just roll me to attack, just to see if it goes anywhere.
It goes
It'll be
anywhere.
pretty low
That's
DC.
23.
Yeah,
so it's gone down there.
Yeah, you kind of, with a massive drill back, hurl it down into the midst of these things, and it kind of skips along the bottom a little bit before laying to rest. And every single set of eyes down there cracks open, focuses on you, and they begin to stand up in a kind of jerking, unpleasant manner, similar to the way that the one in the tunnel reached up and grabbed Vasha. These are now standing up as though they're in the open air. And
Crap.
it's but a couple of moments, and they're standing on the bottom of the cavern, looking up at you. The one at the back, with the dagger and the crossbow, raises the crossbow up and will fire it at you. I need to put that dice away. It whooshes past your head, and I need everyone to roll me initiative again. Why? Okay.
Derek, if you rolled worse than me, I'm gonna laugh real hard.
Let's go the other way. Let's go 25 to 20.
23.
Okay.
So, show off.
Rogues, man. 20 to 25. No, I just did that. 15 to 20. No. Okay. 10 to 15.
13.
13. No one else?
Rolling the
Yeah.
die.
Alrighty. 5 to 10.
8.
I mean, in this group, that's average. 0 to 5.
3.
Oh no.
Oh no. 5.
Oh.
Okay, Derek at 4. Give me 3. Okay, fun. That's great. That's really good. That's heaps of fun for everyone. Just put it away. Okay, Jara, classic. You see the crossbow bolt go up from your hidden perch on the ceiling. Like,
So
holding yourself up.
immediately focusing on one of the ones with the swords, and insightful fighting, find the weak spots once more.
Yep. Well, you would get sneak attack anyway because you are hidden.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to do an attack though, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to get this. But my insight would be a 22.
Oh yes, and I have to contest that with something, don't I?
Deception.
Yes, and what are you doing it at?
It's one of the ones with the swords.
One of the ones with the swords. Right. Do. Wisdom, not good at that. That's a 5.
Okay. So for the next minute, I can trigger sneak attack on that one.
Okay.
And as an action, taking the beat of force, and I am throwing it at the one with the dagger and crossbow.
Jolly good. Now, let's have a look at how those work. Do.
Each creature within a 10-foot radius where the bead landed must need a DC 15 dexterity saving throw,
Oh
or
boy.
take 5d4 force.
Okay. Well, this one's the one at the back is kind of separate to the others, so it's not going to be. There's not really anything around him, so it'll
I'm
just.
specifically targeting him though.
Yeah. So. Okay, that was a. 16 on the dice. What was the.
It's a DC 15.
Oh, okay, 16 on the dice, but I don't know how quick the dead thing is. Oh, it's actually pretty quick. That's going to be like a 20. 19. That's
so
a
it
19.
Let's see. Takes no damage. It's pushed back from the center of the sphere, so it's no longer inside it. So it's pushed back 10 feet.
Okay, so it's pushed further away from its comrades. It's pushed back almost up against the very back wall of this cavern.
And cursing in his mind that didn't work, Jara is going to. He's already revealed, so he's going to swim down slightly, using his reaction to draw his second dagger.
Yep.
And holding himself in plain view.
Yep, cool.
Above one he has marked, essentially.
Yep. So there's the one blade that you've marked, and the one with a blade that you haven't. Okay, Sam.
Right. Look, let's just do this. Sam is just gonna. How far away are they? Let me just check that.
Well, the cavern is about 70 feet long. The one with the one that got pushed back from the force is fully 70 feet away from you now,
Right.
because it's been pushed right back against the edge. The others are all within 30 feet, kind of like in a group. The ones with the swords are up front.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has been one of them, Jara, seems to have a bead on. So say the one on the left, the Jara has a bead on, and then there's one on the right, and then there's 4 commoner looking ones behind, and then well behind that is the one with the crossbow.
All right. Sam will. He seems to do this. If a plan goes awry against what he was anticipating, he will just fly into a rage, and he will swim on down there. And since he's now super skilled level 5, a single attack means 2 attacks. So with my 2-weapon fighting, he will rage for 3 attacks with his exciting hand axes on the swordsman on the right.
Okay. Yep. The one that Jara doesn't seem to have
The
targeted.
non-Jara one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where's my screen? Cool. So that's 3 attacks. That is an 8.
No.
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 And a 22.
Yes.
And that's a 7. That's not done anything then.
No.
All right. So damage on one of those then is a d6. 5. So that's 9.
Jolly good. And are you coming? And what are you doing that damage with? A axe, was it? No.
Oh, axe.
Axe, right.
Yes. So
Good
it
to know.
is slashing damage.
So you are within melee range. Good to know.
I am.
You are. Great. Okay, it is their go. And they all start, with the exception of the one who got blasted back by the beat of force, the others all start their jerking steps towards you. The one in front of you, Sam, is going to attack you.
Mm-hmm.
Twice with its sword.
Ooh.
That is not going to hit. 17?
17 will hit.
Okay. And that's going to do 7 slashing damage to you.
Oh, I am resistant to slashing damage while I'm raging.
Yes, you are. The other one looks up at you, Jara, and kind of opens its mouth, and you would expect a yell to come out or a roar, but nothing seems to happen. Probably because it's dead and you can see through one of its lungs. And it continues its walk along the seabed towards the rest of you. What's its movement? Okay. Yeah, it'll be able to reach you guys. What was the order at the front of the cave for the rest of you, for Varsha, Derek, and Yumi?
I think Basha's just behind Derek.
Yeah.
If we still.
And Yumi was at the end. So Derek, the other one is going to go for you. It's going to make 2 attacks with its longsword at you. No. It's like a 4. 18.
18 hits.
And you are going to take 7 slashing damage. The others, the ones that aren't carrying weapons, are kind of a little bit slower. They seem a little bit slower underwater, and they're jerking, some of them even crawling towards you at a much slower pace, and they can get within about 10 feet of you, but not quite up to you at this point. As one of them passes you, Sam, they're going to take a swing at you. With its claw, it's going to reach out. 19?
Yeah, that'll hit.
And you take 4 bludgeoning damage, so you do get to reduce that one down for me as the zombie's claw just into you.
And if it's moving past, do I get an opportunity attack?
Yeah, it's going to keep moving, so you'll get an opportunity attack against it.
Cool. Oh, that misses. Let's not do that.
Let's not?
Yeah.
Yay! Hello, lawful stupid PG. Awful stupid, I love it. Thanks for the raid. Hello, everybody. Great. So continuing on down the order, we have Vasha, who has a kitty.
Yeah, I got a kitty. I had it muted, but she just went. It was really cute. Vasha steps forward, kind of puts like protective hands out, and you see that circlet glow again. And she casts Turn Undead, so anything within 30 feet of her has to make a wisdom save.
That will be all of them except the one that was thrown back by the Force.
Yes.
6.
Yes. All right. And then you see her kind of turn back, and she's like, under the muffled water, you hear her kind of try to like mouth, "Don't attack, fleeing." And so they have to spend their turns running away unless they take damage. So
yeah, all of them start backing up. Sam, you've already used your attack of opportunity. Derek, you will get an attack of opportunity as the one that attacked you just looks at Vasha and its jaw swings open and a sound of terror would come out if it had lungs, but it begins to back up and you will get an attack of opportunity against it.
So that was not rolling for attack. That was an insight check to see if I understood what Pasha said. So I will not use my... It was a +4, so 20?
Yep, yeah. 20. Okay, yeah. So you realize that something's happened and you probably shouldn't disturb it.
Right, so I'll choose not to use my reaction.
I will get you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, though.
Okay. Bear with me a moment.
No worries.
Just as I thought. 14.
Okay. Derek, it is your go.
Oh, I still have an action.
Oh, you still... Okay, you still have an action.
Bonus action.
Sorry, Vasha. Keep going.
I think I have a bonus action. Or, hang on. I did an action, so I can do a bonus action. Where are my spells? Actually, I don't know if I can. I don't know that I have bonus action. Sorry, my thing just... If I did that, can I cast Toll the Dead? I realized I did that before, but I actually don't know if I can do that.
I don't think so if it's an action, no.
Yeah, no, so I don't think I can. Yeah, so that's my turn.
Alrighty.
And then she kind of like points at the one in the back, and she like kind of like signals at people like, ooh, like
that's
that one, like, because that one's not affected. And she looks like to see if everybody kind of understands. She's like,
Yeah, I know I'm rolling real bad for these guys. Derek, it is your turn.
Okay, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
First, who's taken damage from our team? Just me?
And Sam.
No, Sam has as well.
Yeah.
Sam, how many damage have you taken?
Only 5.
Okay. And then second question, Alex. Magical fire underwater.
Ooh. I think it's still fire. I mean, if it does fire damage, like if it does burning damage, I'm gonna call it as fire, and if it's fire, it's... Yeah.
That's why I asked before I did anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will use my action, and you all see for the first time while we've been playing, but maybe not the first time in general, as Derek slowly and deliberately transforms himself into a large crocodile.
Awesome! And by not the first time you've seen it at all means that this is something that Derek just occasionally does for funsies?
Sometimes I'm just animals.
I imagine sometimes we'll be like walking up the beach and we'll be like, Derek?
Gotta stop Evie before she stabs it.
Glares at you when you know it's him.
Yeah, we always know by the glare. We're like, Derek, that's definitely him.
That's my whole turn. So.
Okay, cool. You are now a crocodile. That is outstanding. Yumi. Derek has just turned into a crocodile right in front of you.
Alright, now I know it's him. So I've got two questions. One is, where is the guy with the satchel?
Way at the back.
Back?
Way at the back, like 70 feet from you.
And was that the one that Vasha was pointing at?
Yes.
All right, great. That means I can do what I was planning to do the entire time. All right, I'm gonna go into a rage.
Yay.
And I'm gonna make a beeline for that guy.
Good call. What's your movement?
Not a lot.
You get as far as you get.
I get about 40 feet.
Cool. You get just over halfway there. That's pretty good.
But I'm raging.
Just to add, like, none of those guys can. They
can't take a. They have to keep fleeing.
Yeah.
So they've just got to keep. They're just doing everything they can to back themselves up against the cavern as you approach.
Yeah. They keep doing scared undead things.
Yeah, and they can't take attacks of opportunity, I believe. I don't know. Let's have a look.
Fails, it is turn for 1 minute, or until it takes damage. A turn creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away as it can, and it can't willingly move into a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions.
Yeah, so no attacks of opportunity. It can attack people who aren't you, though.
Yeah.
It's just afraid of you, Vasha, so be aware of that. They can still attack other members of your party. It's just they're going to keep trying to back themselves against the walls.
Yeah, and if in the moment they take damage, then all of a sudden it's just not afraid of me anymore.
Yeah,
so.
okay. Jara.
From where I'm at, can I get to the one in the back?
Yeah, because you were kind of up in the middle, and yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can like swim down towards it.
In that case, free action, stow one of the daggers. Bonus action, moving my incital fighting over to him.
Yep.
With a 21 on insight.
Against his wisdom. 14.
Okay, so he's marked by Jara, and getting up right close to him and going to try and tear out the throat with my dagger.
Okay, roll to attack.
This would be. That is a total of 20 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Dealing with the sneak attack. Dealing a total of 17 points of damage.
Alright. Okay, cool, good. Math,
And then
I can do math.
holding my position right in front of him.
Make me a constitution saving throw, please.
Will do. That is a 14.
Okay. Fair enough. Is that your turn?
That's my turn, yes. 3 actions. Yeah,
Great.
that's my turn.
Sam?
Sam being where he is he within 80 feet of the main dude with the satchel?
Yeah. Even in
Fair.
you've moved forward a little bit, and the cavern is only 70 feet deep, so.
Oh, so, okay, even if I was furthest away, I could still get there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sam will, let me just check. I have bonus action. That's not a bonus action. That is a bonus action. How far away am I?
You are probably about 50 feet.
Okay, I will need to use my dash bonus action then. So while raging, I invoke the Kingfisher totem. So everyone sees sort of blue and copper streaks go through my hair as I swim at speed up to join Jara next to the main dude. So that's my dash as a bonus action, and at that point I will just do my 2 attacks, classic two-handed hand axe thing.
Would this be considered flanking considering Jara's position?
Ooh, yes.
No, because you kind of swam down from the top. To flank,
Okay.
you'd have to flank. Sam would have to like kind of get underneath him almost. You're kind of like,
Okay.
yeah, because you can't really get behind him because he's backed up against the wall.
Cool.
Okay.
So just normal attacks.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, that one is a 10,
Nope, that doesn't hit.
and this one is a 20.
That
Non-natural
definitely
20.
hits.
Fantastic. So that's d6 plus 4. That's 8 slashing.
Okay. Jolly
And
good.
that's my go.
Well, that's your turn. It is there go, the one directly in front of you. Okay. It's going to drop the crossbow that was holding, pull out a dagger, which immediately goes up to try and stab you, Jara.
Okay.
That's a 10. That's not going to hit you, is it?
No, that misses.
Yeah. And the other one, it's gonna, with its other dagger, stab out towards you, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 14.
Oh, just misses.
I'm not rolling well. That's its go. The others continue to try and move away from Varsha, which is pushing them towards the back of the cavern. What's that? 30? Let's have a look at some movements here because, okay, the ones that look like commoners are moving towards the both of you, Sam and Jara. Can't quite get there yet. The ones with the swords, however, are starting to get close to you as they're moving back. One of them actually gets up to you guys and is gonna take a stab at you, Jara, because you've been dealing a fair bit of damage to it. So
Right.
the one that you were attacking previously is running away from Varsha, which is putting it right in front of you.
Yep.
It's a 20, non-natural, but a 20 to hit.
That will. Hold on, let me double check something. That is. Just to clarify, we've seen it take more than one attack before.
Oh yes,
correct?
yeah, you've seen it
And
take
it's
more.
definitely focused on me.
It is definitely focused on you.
In that case, I am throwing up my hand, twisting it through the water slightly, and a slightly transparent shield, translucent shield, is going to appear in front of me.
Yep.
As I cast shield, it will still hit, however.
Yep.
But in preparation of any future attack.
Yeah, which it does make another attack against you, which is a 20 again, same roll.
That will hit as well.
Okay, so that's going to be 14 points of slashing damage as this rusted, barnacled sword kind of slams twice into your shoulder.
Okay.
It's not great. And that's really all they can do on their turn, Varsha. You're muted.
Yep. Seeing all of this happen, is everybody else up by the one in the back, right?
I think it's just Jara and Sam.
Jara and Sam. Okay.
You're standing next to a crocodile.
You are standing next to a crocodile.
Her instinct is she wants to run up there to protect them from the hordes that are now directed at them. But she also doesn't want to now send them at these two that are behind her. I don't know what that noise is.
That
Sorry.
is Sam's phone.
Oh. I think what she'll do. What are the spread of the other ones that are like? Are they dispersed widely, or are they all
Yeah.
kind of clumped?
They're kind of trying to. They're pretty dispersed. They're not clumped. They're kind of fanning out away from you. So they will eventually clump together at the very back, where Sam, Jara and the one that previously had the crossbow is. But at the moment, they're just fanning out away from you to get as far away from you as they possibly can. Whether that's sideways or back, they're just trying to get away.
She looks to the two behind her and she yells, "Follow me!" And then she kind of makes her way along the side of the cavern so that she won't just like split them and do the same thing. Like she makes a way like they have to kind of like avoid her, and
Yeah.
is going to cast at the guy with the crossbow. What was I gonna? Where'd it go? You are going to see this huge streak of just this brilliant, like crackling white light, just kind of like burst through the cavern and the water. It needs. Oh, this is. I was thinking it was another save. Hang on. It's just a roll. That is a 22.
Oh yeah, that'll. Yep. Yes. Yes.
Hang on, I have to roll a couple because I don't have enough dice. That is 25 points of radiant damage,
Wow.
and the next attack has advantage on it as I cast Guiding Bolt at second level at it.
Amazing. That really hurt it. It doesn't look particularly pleased. I mean, it's a corpse. It didn't look pleased to start with, but you're starting to see bits of skin just sloughing off it. That did a significant amount of damage.
Okay, and then she again like makes sure to wave like, and she looks kind of at like Sam and Jara like she like wants people to clump towards her.
Yeah. Is that your turn?
Mhm.
Derek. Crocodile.
A crocodile moves to the closest person near it. It has a swim speed of 30 feet, so
Yep.
if anything, within 30 feet of it, and tries to rend its head from its flesh with its bite attack.
Okay, so it's going to attack one of the zombies.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. You can definitely do that. They're not moving very quickly at all. Bite one, please.
16 to hit.
Yes. Yeah.
For a total of 7 damage.
Okay.
Piercing damage. And the target is grappled.
Oh, good. Yep. It sure is. It's no longer afraid of Varsha, but that doesn't seem to matter. How much damage was that? Sorry.
7 damage.
Okie dokie. Lovely. Yeah, it's not afraid of Varsha, but that doesn't matter anymore because it's being grappled by a crocodile. Jolly good.
That's it.
Great, Yumi.
Hello. I am still moving towards the van with the satchel, which, from what it sounds like, is the guy with also the crossbow and the sword that he dropped.
Yeah, he had a crossbow and a dagger. He dropped the crossbow, and now he's got 2 daggers.
Okay. All right, Neato. I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to go over there, and I'm gonna smack him twice as I can do that because I'm ranging.
Yep, you sure can. Smack him twice.
Yeah. All right. Different die this time. Ooh, that's lovely. So first attack with my great axe is, where are you?
It would be with advantage because of
Advantage
Varsha's.
because of Varsha's guiding bolt. So go crit fishing.
Oh well, that's only like yeah. It's these 13 plus 8.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yes, that hits.
Okay, so I'm gonna smack him again.
Uh-huh.
And that 16 plus 8, so that definitely also
That
hits him.
definitely also hits. Yes.
So let's see. That's 6 plus 5, 11 plus 2 is 13. And that was out of the box. Give me a second.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
What happens? What happens to this guy?
I think Yumi's just gonna split him down in half.
Yep. Fair. It's a fair call. Just
One swing.
right down the middle. It's like a hot knife through butter. That like half the head comes off, the shoulder's gone. It's there's just bits of this guy floating in the water around you.
Does that mean I can turn and smack somebody else?
Yeah, totally.
Alright, neat.
There is the one that fled from Varsha to attack Jara, and the one that's attacking Jara at the moment.
Okay,
Kinda, like,
I'm gonna
stabbing up
definitely,
towards Jara.
definitely hit that guy then.
Yeah.
And this is still with advantage because of the flanking.
No, you're not gonna be able to flank these guys because they're
fine.
kind of back against the wall.
Okay. Well, darn. I really wish I had that advantage. That's alright.
They don't have a great deal of armor.
Alright. So let's see. I think that's 11.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, great.
They're dead.
Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna smack the guy that's attacking Jara and company. Let's see, that is that's a 5 plus oh yeah, 5 plus a 5 plus 2 is 12 points of damage.
Great.
And that activates my ancestral protectors because I'm raging, and now everyone has resistance to damage from this particular thing that I just hit.
That is spectacular.
Yeah.
Is that your turn?
Yes.
Jara. It is also no longer afraid of Yumi, but it's otherwise occupied, so I'm no longer afraid of Varsha.
Seeing that it is probably close to being re-dead, I am moving my insightful fighting over to it.
Mm-hmm.
With a 27 on insight, I assume.
I mean, yeah, that's... yes, it's fine.
And then go to lash out with the dagger and drive through the skull. That is a total of 20 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit it.
Dealing 10 points of damage total.
Okay. It's still up. They're pretty hefty for dead things. Easy to hit, but kind of hefty. Still up. And...
Oh, sorry. I only rolled 1d6.
Oh, yeah.
Add 4 on top of that.
Okay. It's still up. It's not looking great, but it's still up. I mean, it's looking real bad, but definitely still standing. All right. Let's
check it out. Yeah, that's my position.
That's you, Sam.
Yep.
Forgive me, I have to step away there. Has things moved around significantly, or is it largely me still grappling with the satchel guy?
You're still.
I don't mean literally grappling.
Yeah, no, you're still in melee with the satchel guy.
Fantastic.
Then I just killed him.
Except yes, that's right. Yumi did just kill him. I have deleted him from my list. So while you had him like up against the wall, blades ready, he just disintegrated.
Great, top work, Yumi. Is there anything nearby that is unaffected by Varsha's spell still?
The one that is currently engaged with Jara is definitely unaffected because it's been hit, so it is no longer afraid of Varsha.
All right, I will move along to attack that one.
Yeah.
With my raging 2 attack, 2 weapon fighting bonus action.
Let's do it.
I will do 3 attacks. So that is 11
to hit.
11 to hit, 12 to hit, and 18 to hit.
Yeah, they all hit.
Woohoo!
This is.
All right, so that.
And it's not looking great, so.
It's probably gonna die.
I have a feeling of how this is gonna go.
All right, so that is 6 plus 6. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 total.
Yeah, it's gone. It's well and truly gone. It's blasted into pieces. Much like that. It is blasted into pieces. Hello, Silver!
I'm just picturing so many like dead body chunks just floating around right now, and I'm sorry if anyone's eating, but really that's just the visual I've got right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just like drowned flesh, bits and pieces are now floating around in the water. It's pretty gross. Yes. It is their turn. They are all slowly moving away from Varsha, who is moving around the cave wall, so now they're kind of surging back towards the far side, away from the rest of you.
One of them's not.
One of them is not, but it's dead now.
The one that was in my mouth?
The one that is in your mouth isn't going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Not going anywhere. The other one with the sword is dead, and the others that were kind of a little bit squishier are all fleeing from Varsha, so Yeah, there's not much they can do. The one in your mouth is going to try and break the grapple.
DC 12.
All right. Well, that is... That's strength, yes? Athletics. Okay, that's a 14.
Okay.
So it's managed to pull out of your jaws. And is now just looking at you. And that's going to be their turn, because that's all they can do. The others continue to flee from Vasha. Okay. Vasha, it is your turn.
So I'm going to use a bonus action to summon my spiritual weapon, which is this spectral looking trident. And you just see it like just spear through, or attempt to spear through that one that Derek was just biting a moment ago. I don't know. 11. I don't know.
That hits. They are not particularly heavily armored, and we don't have anybody after us, so we probably will go a little bit over time.
Okay, that is going to be 7 points of force damage.
Ooh.
And then she can use her action to cast Toll the Dead. So you hear that soft muted chimes ringing, and
Ooh, it's a wisdom.
Yes, wisdom save.
Oh boy, they don't have a great deal at that. Yeah, it's a 10.
Okay. Then that is going to be 14 points of necrotic.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Okay, looking pretty bad there, Derek.
Yep, I'm gonna swim up to the next guy and bite them as well.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's
it
what
can
a
be
crocodile is
the same
wont to do.
guy who... There's really the ones who are frightened of Vasha are all kind of way over against the wall. The one that just pulled himself out of your jaws.
I'm gonna grab him again.
Yeah, is right in front of you.
11 is the
That hits.
attack for a total of 11 damage.
You going in for the grapple, jaws wide, trying to grab him and do a bit of damage, but mostly hold him in place. Shears clean through his torso, and the two parts just float away from each other.
I use my bonus action to snap up one of the pieces and eat it.
Cool.
What does that taste like?
Meat.
Crocodiles have such delicate palates.
Yeah, they're not particularly discerning in their taste.
I bet like Derek's gonna have just like the nastiest gut rot after this.
No,
You
but his
know,
breath is going to be
that
horrendous.
does remind me.
Oh!
Derek, I do need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All
You
right,
do
let's see
need to
what
do
a
that.
Crocodile's constitution is. Oh, it's the same as mine. Perfect.
Easy.
10.
10. Okie dokie. Good to know. I'm gonna call it as out of combat now, because unless you injure those other zombies, they're just gonna continue to run the hell away from Vasha for a little while longer. How long does that last?
Forever.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
for a minute.
A minute?
I
So-
could like swim up to the satchel thing real
Yeah.
quick and be like, "Ah," and like quickly inspect it.
Yeah, you
for
can
the-
like pull it straight off the body, because the body is disintegrating by this point. Whatever magics were holding it together are gone. And now it is simply a corpse.
She takes a quick one over because the Prime Water guy said that there was other like magical items potentially on
Yeah.
him. And I got a nat 20 for
I was gonna say make me investigation.
yeah.
A nat 20. Yeah, this guy is decked out really well. Like his clothing, his basic clothing has started to rot and fall away. But there are some items of his clothing that still look real good. He's got a pair of gloves on, a pair of black gloves on that just look absolutely flawless. He's got a circlet around his head, a beautiful cloak that is now billowing in the water. A really good pair of boots, like real slick looking pair of black lace up boots, and a necklace with a small pearl on the bottom of it. And those are the things that look shiny and new, whereas everything else he's wearing is kind of beginning to rot away.
Sam is joining you in getting off. Sam's
all,
particularly focused in the cloak and the gloves. But whatever we can get off in this minute.
So you're just like stripping this corpse.
Stripping a corpse. This is my
Stripping this
finest.
corpse naked.
This is our finest moment, Vasha.
This is some real
We're stripping this corpse naked while also eyeing the other fleeing corpses. So I'm like,
Yeah, you have like
How
40 seconds to strip this corpse.
how tightly grouped together are these fleeing corpses?
Um,
How
they're just trying their best to be as far away from Varsha as possible. So by this point, they're kind of near on the far wall, grouped together near the exit. I'll say.
I assume they're within a 10-foot radius.
Oh, of each other, yes.
In that case, Jared will swim over and try the beat of force and try and
Yep,
capture them all.
All right.
So
Roll
be a
that.
15 dex.
Yes. Yes, 15 dex.
Vasha kind of like,
No, that's a. I think that's actually going to be like a 1. No, that's a 0.
So they take 7, 9,
my God.
10, 11 points of force damage.
Okay. Yeah.
And are now, for the next minutes, we have a bit more time on top of that
Yeah.
previous minute, are captured in a ball of force.
Yep. So you see bits of flesh kind of fly off them, and then they just freeze.
this is the best visual.
And you now have a little bit more time to strip the corpse.
And Jared's going
That's a
to
sentence that I always wanted to hear.
and Jared would like to take a look at the crates that you mentioned were tied down.
Yeah. They're wooden crates. They don't really have any identifying markings on them. They're all nailed shut. And they're tied or netted to various ledges and spaces around this cabin.
I assume thieves' tools wouldn't be applicable in getting them.
To get these out, you probably have to cut them free first, and then they're not locked. They're nailed shut, so you'd have to crowbar them open.
Okay.
Make me an investigation check, real quick.
Sure. That's a 19 total.
You can see peeking out through some of the bits where the lid's been nailed down, bits of oilcloth. So you get the impression that inside these crates it's been sealed with oilcloth, and breaking it open would probably break whatever waterproof seal's been put in here. So these
case-
crates have been waterproofed before they were stored here.
Yeah. Are they big enough that they wouldn't fit back through the passage?
It would probably be a tight fit. You can imagine that they had to really shove them in to get here, but they fit
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Okay. Jara will try and catch anyone's attentions and just gesture questioningly towards the crates, as in, do we want to take one with us? Or are we leaving them all here?
Yumi would be game to try to grab one. Also, FYI, Yumi really wants those boots on the corpse. The second you mentioned they were black and lace up, she's like, I want those. Those are mine!
Jara then
aesthetic!
start cutting the netting.
I'll swim over as a crocodile and bite the rope
Yeah.
that's holding the
I'm gonna
crates.
say it's pretty easy for you to free some of the crates. They're pretty heavy, so they don't start floating around or anything.
And then I'm going to drop my form and go back to
Yep.
my full half-elven form.
So who's looting the corpse and who's okay? So yes, Sam, we have established is
I should not
Yep.
have put my hand up that
Yep.
fast for that.
Yeah. Very enthusiastic about stripping the corpse. So I'll say that between Sam and Varsha, you take all of the things that look like they're unaffected by being left underwater, as well as the satchel, which does indeed have a red wave pattern on it. This is probably taking a little bit of time, so in the interest of not being zombie food, you feel like you were getting close to that minute mark.
And then as she pulls like the last bit, like she gets the necklace up around the corpse's head, she's like,
Jara will just gesture towards Yumi, who he knows has a bead, and then point towards the zombies as gonna use one.
Okay, yeah, I'll check one.
Yep. Okay, so that's a dex. Let me have a look. It's 15 dex. They're not super dexterous. No, that is a 1.
Nice.
Yep.
So
They start to move again and how much damage does that do? Actually, roll for damage.
Okay.
It's
Because
5d4.
5d4? Oh. Hang on, I gotta get some more d4.
Wow.
Wait, no, I'll just roll the wall. What am I doing? Okay, let's see. 4,
Uh-huh.
6, 10.
Yeah, they blast apart. They just they just blast apart as you throw the beetle falls at them. It just
You see this like bubble of.
bubble of gore, slowly expanding bubble of gore.
I'm gonna
You
put
need
that
to
in my
be
notes.
proud of herself today. She killed a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
I know,
Derek
that's
sees
my
this
pen.
bubble of gore, and he kind of like, but then he also tastes like the gore that he just ate, and it just even makes him like more sick.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he just like, I've got to get out of here, and he just kind of turns and goes.
Yep. Derek leads the way back through the tunnel.
If you eat it in the first, whatever.
Yeah, you can feel like the gore rising, and you. And I'll tell you what, Sam, you're starting to feel not great either.
Yeah, no, if I'm starting to feel not great, I'm going to clasp onto the clothes that I've got. Can I retrieve my javelin, or is that ship sailed?
No, you can grab the javelin. This is an enclosed space. You're all good.
Cool. Scoop up the javelin and follow Derek out.
I'm helping with the crate.
Yep. All right. So you guys get the crate out. Between Sam and Varsha, you get the satchel and the clothing out. Mm-hmm. It takes a little while to get back through the passageway, and then back to the sheltered little cavern near the entrance. When you come up and come back into normal lighting, and you're not seeing in grayscale anymore, and you're in this sheltered cavern, Sam and Derek, you look over to them, and both of them are starting to get, Sam slightly more so than Derek, but both of them are starting to develop some bruised looking blue boils that are creeping up from out of the neck of their clothing. And man, the two of you feel really not great. You're going to...
Can I cast Lesser Restoration on both of them?
You can, but at this point they just look like they have boils, and the both of you are going to reduce your Constitution and Charisma scores by 3.
Ooh.
Like by 3?
Like by 3.
Like by 3.
Those zombies have given you something. You feel real gross. Like you're a bit dizzy, and like Sam, you look at Derek and you're like, oh man, what's wrong with you? And Derek, you look at Sam and you're like, oh. And everybody else is looking at all of you. Everybody else is looking at both of you like, oh. They're these like gross blue boils.
Crap.
Yeah, and Sam, you've got this armful of stuff. Varsha, you've got a bag. We'll probably go for another couple of minutes just to wrap this up. Is there anything else we would like to do in the final few minutes of this game?
So when I do that, when I go up to them and try to help them, does that seem to help at all, or is this just something that persists despite that?
Let's have a look.
I can read you the spell.
Yeah.
I believe it takes away poison, paralysis, blind, or deafened. Yeah, I'm thinking primarily poison.
Yeah.
Or one disease
Most
or
of this stuff takes a greater restoration to get rid of it.
It doesn't seem to do anything, and the boils remain. And Sam and Derek look a little unwell.
Am I still pretty?
Sam, I feel like this hits you way harder than it hits me.
Aside, my charisma is now -3. As in, my base score is 5. My charisma modifier is now -3.
Oh no!
These clothes had better be worth it.
So if we're able to get the crate up and Jara would
Yeah,
climb
that
up
was-
and ropes to use that pulley you
Mhm.
mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah.
So he will offer to take the crate somewhere safe and hidden, and
Mhm.
also offer to, once we're able to look at them, remove at least some of the articles of the clothing that we robbed from the corpse.
Yeah, because
So we don't advertise how much we have.
Yeah, you guys, you looking at this clothing, it's all beautiful and it possibly is magic, but you don't really have much of an idea of what it is or what it does at this point in time.
So
Really?
Jada would offer to safely enclose it with the jar, the jar that we don't know what it does either.
We really need to find an arcanist.
You probably should.
Yep.
But we can deal with that in some downtime, along with Derek and Sam's affliction.
Gotta get them to a doctor.
Yeah, so you guys are just kind of at the top of the cliff looking at Derek and Sam in the rain, which has lessened slightly but is still storming a bit. Kind of looking at them like, no.
It's so pretty.
If people do agree to have Java safely enclose these items until we can look at them, his form would flicker slightly and slowly begin to shift until he looks like a human, slightly tanned and weathered skin, pulled back dark red hair, few scars here and there, about a half a foot taller, and a lot more gaunt. And he would just disappear for a while and reappear back as himself about an hour later.
Cool. So as you guys are leaving the top of the cliff with Jara's form changing and Sam and Derek kind of supporting each other along the top of the cliff, we'll leave it there. I think that'll have to do us. We did go a little bit over time, but that's okay. There's nobody after us, so we can do what we wanna. So I'll just go around. Everybody, tell me one thing that you liked about today's game, a moment that you appreciated, who you are, and where we can find you. Let's go the other way and start with Yumi.
Hello. I am Ryu. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me all over the place, the internet, as Ryu Red Wings. I got a Patreon. You can check money on it if you want art. That's what I do. I do lots of art and stuff. In fact, actually, I'm going to be doing a lot of D&D stuff here soon. So I guess keep an eye out for that. So a lot of item-related things. It's going to be super fun. Let's see, my favorite thing for today. Actually, I think I'm really glad we got to see Derek actually use his wild shape. It made me very happy. And on top of that, like, I had this visual in my head of, like, of Derek fighting and then doing that fun, like, death roll that crocodiles do. And I was just like, yeah, I love it. That's so cool. Just like death rolling the zombies. I really liked that image in my head.
That's what my plan was for the next round if he hadn't broken the grapple.
Yeah. But yeah, also, I'm also just very happy Yumi got to split somebody in half. That was really cool.
Fair. Cool. Samael. Sam, not Sam.
Wait.
Dan Sam.
Dan Sam, right.
Dan
okay.
Sam.
We need to find a better way of doing that. Dan
Yes.
Sam. Yes, I am at Scary Dan on Twitter. I will also be, I believe, on an upcoming podcast I'm blanking, I always do this. Nerdy People Play D&D, that will be coming out at some point. Playing there, but the highlight today for me was definitely just that underwater battle where the way it came together with Varsha turning the undead gave it a real strategic direction, which I absolutely loved. That was just a fantastic move.
Great. Let's go on to Derek.
I'm Adam. You can find me at Adam Barnello on Twitter. Next week at some point, I'll be guesting on a Magic the Gathering podcast called Leaving Legacy. I occasionally get asked to guest on that. So I'll post some stuff on Twitter when that actually is coming out. My favorite part of today, I think, was Jara's backstory kind of working into the opening of the first scene. I think it's awesome that we had our downtime actually make a difference in what happened today. So that's kudos to Jara, Samuel, and also to Alex, and to weaving that into our tale. So good job, guys.
That was completely unplanned. Vasha.
I'm Amber. You can find me on Twitter at @furore_DND. I am on this channel for Saltmarsh stories, and then I also play weekly in the World of Horin on Gratuitous RP. That's on Tuesdays, if I didn't say that. I'm really tired. But my favorite thing about tonight was the imagery when we started the battle underwater. The part where, Alex, you said that all of a sudden their eyes just flicker open. That was just kind of creepy, and I just really liked that. I'm all about the creep factor. So that was definitely appreciated.
Creepy stuff. We love the creepy stuff.
And the bubble of gore.
And the bubble of gore. Can't forget
Yes.
floating gore.
Mm-hmm.
Jara.
So I'm Samuel. There's an important distinction there this time. And I can be found on Twitter as Eldritch Warlock, where you can find me on the internet. In the next 2 days, I will be appearing as a DM on the RPG Lab at 4 p.m. British time, and I shall be appearing as a DM over on Variant Roles at 8 p.m. British time. I am literally too tired to do time zone conversions, so sorry about that.
Yes.
But I can also be found as a player on Monday over again on the RPG Lab at 7 p.m. British time, and that's where I'm mainly. If you keep an eye on my Twitter, I mainly tweet and retweet where I'll be appearing, so it'll all appear there. But as for my favourite moment, to do it kind of selfishly, it's the same thing as what Adam said. I loved how the downtime stuff I did with you, Alex, played into the opening of this, and how I didn't expect it at all. It completely out left field for me, and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Just speaking from a kind of non-selfishly, my character focus point of view, I adored Vasha's reactions to the storm, and the descriptions of the ears perking up and drooping, and I just adored that little tiny bit of detail.
Great. I'm Alex. I was your DM today. You can find me over on Twitter at AlexCatu. I'm here. We'll be back for the next episode of this in 2 weeks. Not as big a break this time. Do tune in because there will be another level jump. With this series, I'm going to get everybody up to level 20 by the end, so there will be another big power jump for next time where we start to get into some real high level stuff. So if that's your kind of thing, please do come back in 2 weeks. My favorite part of today, it was probably Jara creating that opening, because we hadn't actually planned that. That just kind of, I had an intro written where Gillen was going to come in and talk to you guys, and Jara just set that up perfectly for me without even us talking about that. So that was as a DM, that was a really cool moment. So thank you all to my cast today. You guys were amazing. Fantastic roleplay moments. I love running this game, and I cannot wait to see everybody again in 2 weeks. Okay, we're probably going to finish up now. We did go a little bit over time. Thank you again to our Patreon and Twitch subscribers. You guys are what keeps the channel going. So please do check out the Patreon. There's lots of extra stuff there that you're going to be able to get. And thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Bye.
Bye.